Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
Here we are. It's a feisty day in the ultimate Cleveland sports show. Tyvis is in today, and we've got a lot to get to today. It's a big day. We have some huge news. My Little League team finally got another win. That was big. We were excited about that.
Yes.
And the great Richard Sherman will be joining us live from Mars. He's going to be teleporting in from Mars on the satellite. Tyvis has come through big time on this one.
Yeah.
Because he's doing a new show called, what's it called?
Stars on Mars.
Stars on Mars.
You gotta give him the backstory, boy. You gotta understand. For the people out there who aren't part of the UCSS group chat, you gotta explain what this means.
We have a group chat, right, with everybody on the show, behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. And Tyvis the other day, I don't know how the conversation started, but somebody brought up that I think Steve said Richard Sherman's doing a show, Stars on Mars. Mm-hmm. And he was like, Tyvis, can you get him on the show? And Tyvis was like, I was talking to Richard. He said the show's not even on Mars. Now, we all started making fun of him, of course. My wife is like, you guys should leave him alone. He's just kidding. Now, be honest. Were you kidding or not?
What about the show?
Did you think the show was actually going to be on Mars?
No, I knew it wasn't going to be on Mars because he told when he was leaving to go, I knew that.
No, but you know that, I couldn't possibly do a show on Mars.
Right, yeah, yeah. But I'm saying, I knew that this show wasn't on Mars.
It's so ironic you brought that up. I watched a 2-hour documentary on different plans to send people to Mars, not from Elon Musk.
I was about to say, ain't Elon supposed to be doing that?
It was some good stuff, man.
You know, we talked yesterday about how do I have time for anything. G's like that, too. G was on my TV podcast, which will be out either today or tomorrow. He knows he's watching as many shows, if not more than I, plus he's doing his YouTube spirals.
Yeah, and they come at the most inopportune times, bro. I was just like, dang, man, it was crazy. Yeah. They had a 3-part system. It's about this guy who had been coming up with a plan since 1989 to put a 4-team man mission to Mars. It was crazy, but NASA folded on him.
Bastards.
Can we plant a flag on Mars if we ever make it there?
I guess.
Yes, you could. Yeah. It has a very limited atmosphere, so I don't know if it'll flap too much.
That's what
Mike, what do you got?
The best text from the entire Mars exchange was Mike Polk when he responded being like, Tyvis, I hate to break it to you, but Black Panther wasn't really shot in Wakanda.
Yeah. That's sacrilege. That's sacrilege. Everybody knows. Hey. Everybody knows that that's a real place.
And by the way, Wakanda, that second Black Panther, that never happened.
That movie was not good. Everybody went bananas about how good that was. It wasn't that good.
You know what? I just recently watched it for the first time, maybe 3 weeks ago.
Did you like it?
It was okay. It wasn't as good as the first one.
The first one made me want to go look for Wakanda. I wanted to I was gonna put dashikis on. I was just Black Power is back. I'm like, look at I am the Black Panther. I loved it. I was like, this is tremendous.
Dude, those women who were starred in the second one, they're all good, strong characters.
Yeah.
But you can't have Black Panther without Black Panther. It's really
that's going to be their problem.
Yeah.
That dude, he is the embodiment of Black Panther.
It's going to be a third because, obviously, I don't want to spoil it for people that ain't seen it, but the ending.
I know.
He got the.
It's not the same without Chadwick Boseman.
That's true.
Anyway, Mike.
Yeah, we got to get into some stuff here, and I want to set this topic up with this. Yeah. Tyvis was at practice yesterday. He was at the first day of mandatory minicamp for the Cleveland Browns, and I read this on the air yesterday.
Yeah, and Tyvis is officially taking over the title as the Duke of Niger.
He was skipping, he was hopping, he was dancing.
The reaction from you think
what?
You would think that a former professional football player
wait a minute
would not overreact to a practice.
Hey, it's different though.
We're not talking about a game.
We talk about practice.
We're talking about practice.
Listen.
So he sent us, Tyvis, before you go real quick. I need everyone to understand exactly what you said, and then you could defend what you said, and we got videos. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But Tyvis sent us 4 texts in a row while we were on the air. Steve, you can take 194 full here. Here are 2 of them that I want to read. These are 4 quote, spelt exactly how Tyvis texted the group chat in reference to the Browns offense and especially Deshaun Watson. Quote number 1, the offense lock TF, we all know what that stands for, in today with 3 exclamation points. And the second one, and I want to emphasize this, Deshaun looked better than Brady right now, and I am not over-exaggerating.
Wow. You were.
Text.
That's exactly that is the definition of exaggerating right there.
I said what I said, and I mean what I say.
God.
Listen, I say what I mean, and I mean what I say.
Well, congratulations to Deshaun for, in a practice with no pads and nobody trying to tackle you, that you look better than Tom Brady.
Listen. This is the thing, okay?
Talk your stuff, man. Talk to him.
Right, so
talk to these people.
This is what I got to say about it, all right? Do I understand that it was practice?
Yes.
Absolutely I do, okay? Do I understand? Let's take it even a step further. Do I understand that half of this was 7-on-7? You know, there wasn't even a pass rush there.
Yeah.
Absolutely I do. But the point that I'm making is this. Him and Kevin Stefanski, this whole offseason was talking about getting on the same page. We're going to run plays that Deshaun Watson want to run, okay?
Right.
If he doesn't work, we're going to get rid of it, all right? So they've had OTAs for, 3 to 4 weeks maybe, whatever it was. That's the trial and error. By the time minicamp comes around, now you got to have something concrete. You got to have something to go into these next 6 weeks that the offense or defense is something to be excited about. So they have yesterday, watching that man practice, it was one ball that I seen go on the ground, and it was because G-New broke up a pass in 7-on-7. Outside of that, team period, regular 7-on-7, red zone 7-on-7. He completed every pass except for just one yesterday. So that speaks volumes to me because it shows that the trips to Puerto Rico and all that, the chemistry is there. And it's not like these guys was just flat out wide open. Some of them were blanketed coverage, and yet he still trusted his guys enough to throw the ball in there. No,
and that's
huge.
Okay,
compared to what was used to be in Berea. Have you ever heard of somebody saying a quarterback looked better than Tom Brady in Berea ever? No.
Listen.
No, you haven't. You have.
We haven't.
Okay, thank you.
But what we have heard is year after year, Homer beat reporters, and I know you're not a Homer, but we've heard Homer beat reporters tell us this guy's great and that guy's great. Listen, I'm with you. I think Deshaun Watson's going to have a good year. I think he's going to bounce back. I'm glad he looked good in practice. That's positive, yes. But we got to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
it's easy.
You can take it with
yes, if he looked like crap, which he did a few weeks ago, that would be bad.
And that's what everybody was saying.
And that would be bad. And it's good. I'd rather him look good than bad. I'm with you. But you got to take it with a grain of salt. It's easy to look good when you have no threat of getting hit.
What's wrong with him looking? What's wrong with anything that I said?
Well, comparing to Tom Brady is silly because you basically
in practice, Tom Brady has Tom Brady ever had a game where he only threw one incompletion and threw
wasn't a game.
And threw 8 touchdowns?
It wasn't a game.
Have you ever heard of Tom Brady in practice?
Insane.
Have you ever heard of Tom Brady in practice
Tyvis.
going 100%, going 99%?
I don't know and I don't care because it doesn't matter.
You haven't.
It doesn't matter.
I doubled down. I tripled down on what I said.
You just compared Tom Brady in a game to Deshaun Watson in a practice. Think about what you just said there.
No, I said in practice. Have you ever heard of a Tom Brady?
Who's paying attention to Tom Brady in practice? Who cares?
See, Tom Brady cares.
See what you guys is missing is this,
what
man.
Are we missing?
He's using Tom Brady as the standard. The standard of what a traditional quarterback is in the league is Tom Brady. Can you stand? Can you deliver? Can you make your reads? Are you on time? Do you throw a catchable ball? Are you converting touchdowns instead of field goals? So when he's saying he looks like Tom Brady, he's saying he is the standard of what a great pocket passer looks like, of a guy that is coming around and is starting to hit his stride. Now, I'll compare this right here. You like baseball, right? You obviously you love baseball and you're very knowledgeable of it. Why do they always mention rehab starts, right? Why we mentioned rehab starts with McKenzie or whoever.
Right.
If you got a starting pitcher, they tell you on the radio, McKenzie has a rehab start against Buffalo or Wichita, and they'll tell you what day it was. And then after he pitches in that start, they'll tell you, doesn't seem to have any ailments afterwards, body's feeling good, went 5 2/3 innings, strike out 6 people, right? Mm-hmm. Now that's a professional athlete. He's supposed to strike out minor leaguers.
Right. But that's still not the same as a practice where there's no threat.
Well, here's the thing.
In a game, a quarterback knows he can take a hit. In a practice, he's not going to take a hit.
It's not the same. But when you're a pitcher, guess what happens? That game don't count.
Of course it doesn't. So we don't make too big a deal about it.
But they always mention it, though.
They mention it.
He looks good in the rehab start. So he mentioned Deshaun Watson looks good.
Fine, but I got no problem saying he looks good. That's great.
So what part is it that's really
It's the Tom Brady comparison.
Why does that?
Because it's ridiculous.
He looked really, really unbelievable.
It was a practice.
Boy, out of 10 passes, 8 of them, not 9. 8 of them went for touchdowns.
Tyvis.
9 of them was completed.
Tyvis.
1 was
Don't
incomplete.
you think there
how is
don't
that
you-
not Tom Brady?
Don't you think that there were 15 quarterbacks in minicamp,
No.
20 that played as well as that?
No, I don't.
Come on
I do
now.
not. Why? Because I don't see it.
Ultimately, it doesn't mean anything.
It
doesn't
does.
mean anything.
What the takeaway is this, Bull, is that Kevin Stefanski and Deshaun Watson are on the same page because Kevin Stefanski is calling the
One practice
plays.
doesn't prove that.
Bull.
It doesn't prove
Bull.
it.
What have
So let me
we
ask you this,
been
Tyvis.
hearing about him in practice up
That
until
he's been
yesterday?
playing poorly.
Okay,
Let me
so
ask you
what
this.
does that mean?
If he has a bad day today, does that mean they're not on the same page anymore?
No.
Okay, so we can't. All I'm saying is don't overreact to it. That's what we do all the time here in training camp and mini camp. Is we overreact to it. I'm with you. Thumbs up that Deshaun Watson played well. I'm glad he played well. It's a positive. But I can't go over the top
Listen,
about
my
it.
job was to observe practice yesterday.
Observe and report.
And I reported what I saw.
You're getting poisoned by all the homers you're talking to
You're
there.
mad at me because,
not mad at you at all.
on the day that I decided to go to, he looked like Tom Brady. Like that's the best way I can
Brady does
describe
it when it matters.
That's the best way I can describe it.
Deshaun Watson hasn't done anything that matters for 2 years.
Oh my God.
We need him to do it on the field.
I get that you want to keep your feelings reserved, and it's a lot that comes with it because. At the same breath, I didn't think the defense looked that great yesterday. So, in this thing, if they want to go where they
say, I don't really care. I don't really care.
Why is that?
Because it's practice.
Why is that?
Because it's practice.
Oh, bull.
Here's what we're missing.
Yeah.
The hyperbole of Tom Brady, throw some people off, right? It's a headline.
Yeah.
People click on it. It's a little bit, okay, Tom Brady, I get it.
Didn't everybody else start saying Tom Brady?
But everybody else.
Did they really?
He poured the Kool-Aid.
Did they really?
And they followed him right on down. It was hot outside in Berea. It was cold and it was thirst quenching. And I saw person after person just follow the Pied Piper. I said, dang. Somebody said, our own Daryl Ryder says, I know it's practice, but I'm going to tell you what. I ain't never seen a quarterback throw like this in a practice in Browns history. I've been here years.
See, it's the sad state of affairs.
You're hilarious.
As someone that covers the Browns, it's a sad state of affairs. The fact that we would write hyperbole about a mini camp practice is freaking sad.
How is that sad?
It's sad because it just shows how low our bar is.
It is.
To get excited about a practice.
No.
I will be excited when Deshaun Watson plays on the field.
You're missing.
I can be optimistic about it.
You can be. I think you.
We haven't even got to the craziest thing you said yet.
What did I?
Which was the DeAndre Hopkins comment.
We'll get to that. We're going to get to that. We're going to get there.
Wait a minute.
We're working our way up. We had about a 4. We go to the 7.
I'm confused of why you upset with me.
I'm
Well,
not
all
upset
I
with you,
did
Tyvis. I'm
was
not upset.
we reported what we saw
I
in
love
practice.
you. I love you, and I'm not upset with you. What I'm upset with
is that I led a train.
Is you led a train of sheep that every year, my man Daryl's a friend of mine. I love him. I love Mary Kay. I love them all.
Piper.
All right?
He was.
But every year, they pick a couple of people. I was pulling a Joe Sharp over here.
Denise is back.
Yeah. Every year they pick a couple of people. This is the best ever. The Browns have never. Of course, the Browns Browns haven't had a freaking quarterback since Bernie Kosar.
Oh my!
Who'd you think was going to look like that in practice?
You know what?
Brandon Whedon.
You know what it is with you?
Johnny Manziel.
You know what it is?
Yes.
You have been let down by this franchise so many times.
No. I haven't.
That it's excited.
I haven't because I've been mostly reasonable about expectations for the Browns. I got carried away 2 years ago after they made the playoffs.
What did you say?
I thought they'd take it a step further with Baker, and obviously he played like he really is.
So that's why you got beef with him. Because he made you look
No.
good.
I don't have beef with him. I don't really have beef with him. I just don't like him. I think I don't like people that are arrogant when they're not very good.
So, but you want Deshaun Watson to play like that on the field.
I want Deshaun Watson to play great, and I think Deshaun Watson is by far more than capable of playing great than any quarterback the Browns have had. I'll take it a step further. In the history of the franchise, I think he's the most talented quarterback they've ever had.
So why is it asinine for me to say what I said?
The only thing that's asinine is to use Tom Brady as a comparison. That's it.
Oh my God.
The rest of what you said is perfectly fine.
So what if I said Joe Montana?
It doesn't matter. You shouldn't compare a guy and what a guy does in practice to a great player.
Who's a
Period.
guy? Who's a guy that was a great
It's
quarterback
meaningless.
that didn't win a ring?
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino. What if I said
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The point is, guys got to prove it on the field when it matters in a game.
That's
when there's
what
a threat.
I'm with you 1,000%. But you know,
I just can't get carried away.
Wait
like,
a minute. Do you know that what you do in practice translate to the game? Did you know
I
that?
get it. But it's all part of the building process, right?
Exactly.
It's
All right.
building
So
up.
what I seen yesterday was a great building block.
And that's fine. And if
You know how he got out there and said, I just want to get 1% better. Well, GD he did yesterday.
And that's good.
He for
And I'm on board with that. And I like
he might have got 2% better yesterday.
Let me ask you a question. Because here's the thing. When we're like, this is, and I always tell people, like, look, you know, I'm the Duke of knee jerk, right? And sometimes I can be angry and mad, and I can go the opposite way and be like, I don't care what y'all do. I need to see y'all win. Y'all came in last place last year. But is it truly, I guess, is it reasonable to think that fans don't think that way? Like, as a fan, you're emotionally tied to the team. You want your team to win.
Yeah.
Any positivity you see from them, you're going to take and put that in the bank.
And that's fine. And I'm all about, I got no problem being positive. I feel positive that Deshaun Watson practiced well. I was concerned a couple of weeks ago. I had some slight concern that he would look like crap. I'm feeling good. But I can't turn when he practices poorly into this is the end of the world.
Well, see, I never
Or when he practices great to this is the
Well,
best thing ever.
That's not like I said.
But when you bring up Tom Brady, it makes it
that's
seem
your
that way.
problem right there. Just because he had a Tom Brady day. What's wrong with that?
Because you can't.
Why can't you have? Why is it to you seem impossible that you could go out there and for one day of practice be like Tom Brady?
Because
why is that impossible?
Because to me, you can't be Tom Brady in practice.
Why can't you?
Because
for a day, one day, I was the.
Damn.
That's why you choking right there, because you know that I'm
Deshaun
right.
Watson is Tom Brady.
So I'm right.
Because just comparing anything in practice to a game just doesn't make any sense to me. But I don't want to harp on that. The bottom line is, yes, I feel good that he practiced well. I'm glad you are excited about what you observed. I know that one of our fellow colleagues said that he's changing his opinion on how good Deshaun Watson could be based on practice. That's just silly. That's just silly.
You know,
it doesn't make any sense.
When you watch Deshaun Watson and you watch the Browns and whatever they're doing out here, Tyvis is right. Just to give you an inside look.
Oh, thank you.
You build those habits in practice, right? You build chemistry in practice. You build all of that stuff, the routes, the communication. Unless you practice, and one of the things that I think was missing with Deshaun Watson is he didn't practice. He wasn't there for like 11 weeks. He wasn't throwing the receivers. He wasn't doing any of that. He was working with himself on the side. He didn't know the playbook, none of that. So I think it's a bit unfair. Like I was talking to somebody and they said, G. Bush, why does it seem like the fans gave Baker Mayfield 4 years of reasonable doubt? And still was supporting him after he left here, even after he showed you wasn't no good. But you got 6 games with Deshaun Watson. You got people in the media writing him off after he didn't play for 2 years. Why is that? I said, look, there is a part of our fan base that Deshaun Watson is going to have to overkill it. He's going to have to he's going to have to make it to the playoffs. He got to get to the second round. He got to break the sequence.
Well, that's because of the trade.
That's not the only difference.
That's because of the trade.
There's a variety of differences. You gave up a ton to get him, okay? Baker, for all his flaws, and you know how I feel about him, played well right off the bat when he came in for Cleveland.
Yeah,
he played well.
He did.
Yeah.
And the Browns had nothing but shit quarterback play for years.
Okay.
So Derek Anderson didn't take him 10-6?
That was
a long time ago.
That was told.
Was that
a while?
Was you in middle school? That was middle school.
I was.
I mean, that was a while ago.
But here's the thing.
I mean, our fans got excited about Brian Hoyer for a month.
But they paid. Listen, we paid a lot for Baker. We 1-31 got us Baker.
Yeah.
We paid with skin.
But I hear you. But he played well right away.
He did.
There's none of the off the field stuff.
Yes.
The bottom line though is, if Deshaun Watson goes out there and plays like we all think he's capable of, when it matters in the regular season, then 99% of people are going to jump on him.
Well, I'm glad that you said that, because that brings me up to my next point that you just thought was asinine. You can't believe that I would even fix my mouth to say that they should keep DPJ and not DM.
Why does it have to be one or the other, by the way? Why do I have to get rid of
I don't espouse to that.
I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm going to tell you why. Because bringing in D-Hop, he's going to start.
Yes.
Which means DPJ is what? Not going to start.
Correct.
He's a substitution.
Okay. This is his contract year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He won't make no money.
So?
He's going to ask for a trade.
He's in no position to ask for anything.
No, he's agreed.
What do you mean he's in no position?
What kind of power does he have?
Zero.
He just had a pretty productive season.
He's a
last year.
6th-round pick.
So
I'm
what?
with Tyvis. Tyvis is right.
Listen.
You guys are out of your mind. He
Are
has
you
no
serious?
power whatsoever.
He would, if I was him, I would 1,000% request a trade.
Yeah, and
because
no
you know
problem
why?
sticking up his
I
ass.
only got one chance to hit a bag
Tyvis,
in this league,
he
and you
can-
think I'm not gonna hit the
Tyvis,
bag because you're
he
gonna make
can
me
ask
sit?
for
No.
a trade, and he may ask for a trade.
Oh, he's going to.
But they're not going to trade him because
yeah, they
he
will.
wants-
Yeah,
no, they won't.
Yeah,
Why?
they will. Because if you want to do right by somebody, and you know you're doing wrong by
Kareem Hunt
doing
wanted
this,
to be traded. The Browns didn't trade him.
You know what? Watch
they
this.
wasn't gonna get nothing for
Kareem Hunt's a
him.
more
There's people out there that would
Watch
take
this.
DPJ as a receiver.
Jim Schwartz was sitting here talking about, they asked about Greg Newsome in the corners and Denzel Ward and Emerson, and they asked him about Greg Newsome and whether or not he's going to be switching and how you keep people happy. And he said, first of all, I don't want to alarm you. Like, I think Greg has done everything we've asked him to do. He's been a solid citizen. I don't got no complaints. But he then followed it up and said, but that's not our job. I don't care how they feel.
Yeah.
Our job is to put the best team on the field
That's
that the
fine.
Cleveland Browns can do.
How-
and
That's
I,
fine.
and that's it.
So let me
How many
so let
teams
me
is
tell you.
Donovan Peoples-Jones starting for?
How many teams?
Yeah.
Can
Can we name any?
Yeah.
Oh, he would
Houston,
definitely-
Houston
I mean, he could-
Texans.
He'd be the best receiver on the Giants.
Houston Texans.
No, he wouldn't.
Yes, he would.
Yes, he would. Listen, this is the thing.
What did the Giants got?
They
No, but
got
that's the
Sterling,
Donovan
Sterling
Peoples-Jones
Shepard,
put up some
Wandale
massive numbers
Robinson.
that I'm unaware of.
No. This is what we
For
call
a number 2 receiver to have 800 yards,
That's not impressive.
That's pretty good.
This is
It's not.
And
What do you think a number 2 receiver is supposed to have?
On good teams, he has 1,000 yards or 900.
All right, name me two teams where they both
The
receivers had
Bengals
1,000.
and Dolphins.
The
Dang,
Bengals
dog, that was quick.
Did T. Kiggins have 1,000?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Okay, name me a third.
Goalpost
third,
moving.
Name me a third.
He had more yards than anyone on the Giants
But-
by 150 last
but-
year.
hold
Wait a
on.
minute. Name me a third.
Let's see. Dallas.
No,
No, heck no.
I'm on the leaderboard right now.
Seattle.
Seattle at 2,000
I don't
yard
think they had 2 with 1,000.
Yes, they did. Go check
Oh yeah,
it.
Lockett had 1,033.
Yeah, you know.
Thank you.
That's
Side?
clean.
I see what side.
Did the 49ers? Did the 49ers have 2?
There is
Clean?
another team, and it's not the 49ers. There
See?
is another team though.
Is it the Eagles?
Yes.
Oh, Eagles. Yeah.
Eagles. There
Well,
it
there's
is.
Uh,
another team then.
Dang. Well,
The Chiefs? No. It ain't
No.
the Chiefs. Bills?
No.
Vikings?
NFC team,
NFC.
NFC South team.
South.
Oh, Tampa Bay.
Bingo.
now here.
Well, they was good. They was throwing the ball 60
Donovan,
times.
and
a
how many
game.
touchdowns Donovan Peoples-Jones have?
He
3?
had 3.
I mean, come on.
So and
he's just a guy.
So you telling me right? All right. I'm glad
Where
you
did
said.
he rank in
let me
receiving yards?
let me paint you this scenario.
Yeah.
Okay. The season, 17 games is long.
Yeah.
You agree, right?
Okay.
Injuries is a part of this game.
Yeah.
Yep.
So say somebody for the Browns just decided to, they went down, and
Yeah.
now we need to replace him, and they say we'll give you let's say linebacker for the sake of argument.
Yeah.
We'll give you a linebacker, but we want DPJ. He becomes a very nice trade asset.
In that situation, but I'm not going to.
That's fine.
I'm not going to trade him.
Oh, yes, you are.
For a draft pick.
Why would you not?
Because I want depth at the position.
You have none anyway.
See,
this is
y'all kills me.
Bottom line.
This is the same. Y'all the same people that sat up here and told me if Amari Cooper go down, y'all not okay with DPJ being a 1. Did y'all say that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So now all of a sudden you want to keep a guy that's not even going to be considered a 1.
I'm greedy. I'm
So now he a threat now. So now he all of a sudden is a threat.
I'm greedy.
He's an okay player. He's better than the alternative.
Here's what you got.
I don't understand.
Here's what you got to get. I'm not giving no players away.
So you telling me right now that y'all two is going to keep this man hostage so he can't
Why
get paid?
is it hostage?
How is he going to get paid, bull?
It's up to him to figure that out.
That's best, y'all.
If he's good enough, he'll get paid whether he gets a ton of targets or not. Christian Kirk got paid by Jacksonville. He hadn't done anything in Arizona.
Nothing. He was the number 3
Jacksonville was
receiver.
desperate too.
So some team will be desperate.
Are they? Well, that is right there was the most. What's the word I'm looking for? Where it's just way out.
And it worked.
What was the
He
way?
played great for them.
It was the way out.
Tyvis,
Like that's an outlier.
Number
that's the
one,
word. That will
no
never
offense
happen
to DPJ,
again.
I don't care about his money.
Clearly you don't.
Just like I shouldn't care how much he makes, and I don't. I don't care if he makes $1 billion. I don't care. My job is not to be worried about how much money he's making. Neither is the Browns. The Browns' job is to win. The AFC is loaded, is it not?
Yes.
The best teams in this conference have great pass catchers.
Yep.
I'm not in the business of giving up a player, but the bottom line is, you and Nathan Segura and the rest of these guys can say, "Wow, I don't know if DeAndre Hopkins is better than the guys we have here."
Stop.
Have you lost your mind?
Wait a minute. I never said that. That's not what I said.
Somebody
First of
else said
all, can we pull what I said verbatim? What I said?
The tweet? Yeah.
Because that's what I said was.
Yes.
I have been
Who's
on.
better? DeAndre Hopkins, Donovan Peoples-Jones. That's the end of the conversation.
Let him be clear. Give me your stance on the CJ. We're going to hear it from the horse's mouth. What is your stance on DeAndre Hopkins?
So my stance is, all the way up until yesterday, I have been pro DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Okay? I said 1,000%. He's a better number 2 than Donovan Peoples-Jones would be. Correct. And that's facts.
Yeah.
Okay? What I said was, after watching practice yesterday, I am now on the fence of where if they want to go get him, fine. If they keep the receivers as is, they will still be fine, in my personal opinion, because these guys was out there making plays.
It's not good enough to be fine.
What do you mean?
It's not good enough to be fine.
It's not. Why is it not? They literally made plays yesterday. Is that not the name of the game?
You are going to have to beat, if the Browns make the playoffs, you're going to have to beat, most likely, at least 2 of the following 3 teams, if not all 3. Kansas City, Cincinnati, Buffalo. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. Are those teams proven?
Yes.
Yes.
Are those teams much more accomplished?
Not Buffalo, maybe not, but yeah.
At least they've gotten the AFC Championship. They're more proven than the Browns.
Yes, they are.
Okay, well, I give you
all right,
that.
their quarterback's done more in the playoffs than the Browns quarterback.
He also led the league in picks last year, too.
But
Everybody admits
but he's
that.
still agreed.
But
go ahead.
But
more
proven.
Where did they go in the playoffs last year?
They lost in the second round.
Okay.
I
really didn't know.
Deshaun Watson's got 1 playoff win.
Okay.
I love Deshaun Watson.
With that man right there.
But he's got to prove it in the playoffs when it matters.
So now it goes from the receivers. Now it goes back to Deshaun.
No.
That's what you just said.
But
you said Deshaun's got to prove it.
Yeah, he does, and so do the receivers.
Okay.
Right? Everybody, as a team, the Browns have to prove it. Why would you not want the best possible team you could have when you're competing with 3 excellent teams, including clearly the best team in football in Kansas City?
I am Switzerland. I'm with you. I don't care what they do. I'm fine either way.
I think we all agree.
I'm fine either way. If they get him or they don't get him, I'm still good.
I think we would all agree.
I'm good either way.
Even G, I think you'll agree with this. The Browns wide receiving core as is pretty good.
Decent.
It's pretty good. It's better than it was. It's pretty good. But the bottom line is, it's better with DeAndre Hopkins, and there's really no debate there.
So let me get to it. Y'all been talking. Y'all been talking.
I'm Switzerland.
And y'all been talking.
I'm good
and
either
you
way.
got your money off. Bottom line is this: the Cleveland Browns, no, it's not good enough. You came in last place last year.
That's right.
Last. Let's not act like they've had 3 or 4 seasons over 500 for the last 30 or 40 years.
And by the way, came in last place when the Steelers had a rookie quarterback, and the Ravens were missing Lamar half the season.
I can't believe y'all really.
Hold on.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me piggy off of that right quick. You're not. So the Browns had Deshaun Watson for 17 games last year.
7.
No.
Okay.
6,
okay.
whatever.
And Deshaun Watson came in and just played unbelievable for them 6 games.
No.
He was terrible.
So how in the world is a wide receiver gonna get off last year with dealing with 2 different quarterbacks, have to redo chemistry in the middle of a season with a quarterback that ain't played in 2 years?
Played 9
what are you
games.
talking about?
DeAndre Hopkins played 9 games.
We're not talking about
Who the hell
stats.
was his quarterback?
At least he played with him before.
Hey, man, the goalpost.
Did he?
Yes, he been in Arizona for like 3 years.
Yeah, but he was using backup
Colt
guys.
McCoy been there for like 10.
I don't care nothing about none of that.
Yeah.
Y'all keep bringing these stats
Go
up.
ahead.
Listen, at the end of the day, when you going out there and you trying to fight wars, you better have the best team you can have. I don't care about no feelings. And Tyvis understands this. He knows well and good.
Yeah.
He knows that. How many receivers Ohio State got? Do they stop recruiting receivers because they got Marvin? Oh,
Nope.
Did they stop recruiting receivers when they had Olave? Did they stop recruiting receivers when they had Jackson Smith? No, they keep going to get them. So if you can understand that, why would you sit here and say, I don't need this guy? You need everybody.
Wait a minute. Who said that they didn't need him?
You did.
That's not what I said. I said I'm good either way. That's what I said.
That's basically saying
I'm
you don't
good
need him.
either
They don't
way.
need him.
I think, first of all, how about this? You go break the bank for DeAndre Hopkins.
I got the money.
You got
break
all right,
the bank.
all right, you break no. You
I'll
take
tell you what.
He take the whole 14.
I got the bread.
He take the whole 14 million.
I got the bread.
Somebody, Dick Chubb go down. Who you signing?
Nobody.
Doesn't matter.
Oh,
It's
we
running
done.
back.
So we
Go-
just
go
gonna be
get your
chucked.
boy- go-
So we just chucked.
Go get Zeke.
How? With what money?
Zeke ain't getting no money.
There's
what
always
money?
a way. Tyvis, there's always more money.
How? Please enlighten me.
There's always a
How?
restructuring
You
to
got.
do. What are you,
You
talking
have
about?
to leave at least some money just in
the
case.
pivot. No, you know why? You know why?
Yes,
hold on.
you do.
You can always
17
restructure.
Y'all don't understand. 17 games is a long season. It's not like the starting 11 is going to finish the
Tyvis,
season as
they
the starting
can set
11.
up the contract with DeAndre Hopkins where it's not even much against the cap
I
this
hear
year.
you. Why would
It's-
he take that? So he essentially playing for free?
But you jump in.
As long as he's getting paid, he don't care how.
Yes, he does.
no,
What is wrong with you?
You jump
If
in.
he's getting paid, who cares when it goes against
Bull.
the cap?
Too much money ain't enough.
You're jumping to a whole nother conclusion talking about what if somebody else
Yeah.
get hurt.
Oh,
my gosh.
Injuries is part of all things
Just
in
say
football.
y'all don't trust in DPJ. That's just what it is.
Bro, listen.
Just say you don't trust. What you need to, what y'all
DeAndre
really need
Hopkins
to,
is
what y'all
better.
really need to do is say y'all don't trust in DPJ. Y'all don't trust in Kevin Stefanski. That's what y'all need
That's
to tell me.
silly.
That's what y'all saying to me.
So then looks like
That's exactly what y'all telling
if
me.
we don't trust the coach, then the talent doesn't matter. If you say you want any better players,
It sounds to me that y'all don't trust the process at all.
But guess what?
I
No.
like the coach.
How are you telling me
Tyvis, you
that
win
a
with
guy-
talent.
How you gonna tell me that? Like, listen, y'all act like I don't want D-Hop. That's first of all. Let's clarify
when
that.
you're neutral, you
I
say
am
you don't want
fine.
that.
If they get D-Hop, great. If they don't get D-Hop, great.
That's
I'm
your
still
stance.
there.
No.
I don't care.
Well, we know his stance. My stance is you're not good enough to be talking about who you don't need. At the end of the day,
that's what Browns fans do all the time.
we do that all the time. I want everybody.
Yeah.
You know what rich
Go
do?
trade for Aaron Donald. Don't F around.
And you know what rich guys do? Rich guys like their wife. Rich guys like their mistress.
So what?
Rich guys like everybody.
So why stop there?
They take it all.
Why stop there? Why
They
don't
like your wife.
Well,
They
if,
like-
if that's the case, why not go get Joe Burrow or sign Justin Herbert?
Stop.
Why not stop there? We need to get them all.
we can't-
Let's load these positions.
We're not going to dignify that. I mean,
Well,
the hell
look,
is
what?
we
That's
can't
the
do
y'all
that.
essentially
Trade
saying
for
the
Aaron
same
Donald.
thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Trade for Aaron. Trade
do it. He
trade
said it.
everybody.
said it.
Let's get a whole new roster up there because we need to stack positions. Let's go get. Let's go get Jair, Patrick Surtain.
You're okay
Let's
with
go
mediocrity.
get all. I'm not okay with mediocrity.
You sound like one of these
How
Browns
am I
fans.
okay?
You sound like you sound like the Guardians fans last year, or the Cavs fans this year. Were like, our chemistry's good. I don't want to make a trade.
yeah,
I don't want to mess with it.
They were the same cats, right? How'd that work for you?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
How they locker
How do
room
I
chemistry?
sound like that? That's because y'all act like I'm against siding for D-Hop. That's the part that y'all. I don't care.
You gotta be.
By the way,
at the end of the day,
Are you an
I
op or
don't
not?
care.
By the way, just got a call from the word soft from the dictionary. It said, don't call Jared Allen soft because it's insulting to soft. Stretch. That was a big stretch. It didn't happen. You try a joke sometimes, it doesn't always work.
One.
Listen, Why don't y'all trust DPJ?
Because he's not as good as DeAndre Hopkins.
He's not. Come on, man. We're not gonna be talking about third, fourth receiver.
Why do you say that?
He's just not.
What do you know that? Why do I say that? Because it's a fact.
Because D-Hop has been in this league for quite some time.
You know that.
Okay?
Yeah.
You know
He's
that.
a Hall of Famer.
DPJ is still he's trending in the right direction.
I get okay. That's fine.
Because
thing is,
because DeAndre Hopkins is a special talent.
What if
And Donovan Peoples-Jones is a replaceable player. That's how I see it.
What if?
Yeah.
Okay. What if? Now let's play the game of what ifs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's all D-Hop is anyway. Is what if. So
Yeah.
for y'all to say y'all don't speak that, you're lying
Okay,
to
go
me.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Let's say
Yeah.
that we trade DPJ away, and
But
he becomes.
G and I both keep saying we
He's
wouldn't
not
trade him,
going
but
anywhere.
okay.
Okay,
but go ahead.
whatever.
Yeah.
He turns out to be the next DeAndre Hopkins.
Then you made a mistake. You think that's likely?
I don't know.
What percentage chance?
See, this is the thing, because the only special thing about D-Hop is that he catches the ball. We didn't got into
That's
this
pretty
debate.
special.
That is very special. That's literally the name of the game.
Ask Anthony Schwartz how special that is.
Hey, listen, that's neither here nor there.
Right, okay.
That's literally the name of the game at wide
There it
receiver.
is.
It's not that he runs the crispiest routes. It's not that he's a burner. It's none of that. It's that he catches the ball. Mm-hmm.
Well,
DPJ
it's
don't
getting to the
drop the ball, does he?
If that was all it is, if it was really that simple, then why is he going to the Hall of Fame?
Who? Hopkins?
Yeah.
Because he catches the ball with.
Yeah. By the way, how many years DPJ been in the league? He's been 3 years, right?
Correct.
Yeah, 3 years.
All right. DeAndre Hopkins had 800 yards, 2 touchdowns as a rookie, which basically is what DPJ did last year. His second year, he had 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns. And his third year, he had 1,500 yards and 11 touchdowns.
Let's just go ahead and
When
stop.
did he get DY?
Well, I'll tell you, man.
Let's just go ahead and just
What else do I need to say?
Wait, say one more thing. One more thing.
know,
what was his targets that year? What was his targets that
Let me
year?
tell you who his quarterbacks were rookie year.
I just want to know what this
Wait a
target.
second, I'll get to his targets.
Thank you.
His quarterbacks rookie year, very special players.
Okay.
Is it
All right,
Matt
here we
Shaw?
go.
Very special.
Matt
Who else?
Shaw?
Matt Shaw.
Yeah.
And Case Keenum. Those were his 2 quarterbacks.
Case Keenum is a
Christmas.
NFC quarterback.
His second
He's
year.
an NFC champion quarterback.
His second year, when he got 1,200 yards, his quarterback was the great Ryan Fitzpatrick.
oh, Fitzmagic, baby.
And his third year, when he had 1,500 yards.
These ain't no bums that you really calling
These
out.
guys ain't good.
Yeah, I didn't say they're bums. But
I'm just saying.
They're just guys.
What I'm just saying is they
Jags.
not bums. Go ahead.
Last one.
And his third year, when he had 1,500 yards, his quarterback was the man, the myth, the legend, Brian Hoyer.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
And
He's a legend around here.
And then he also caught passes from Tyvis' favorite quarterback, Ryan Mallett. T.J. Yates played 2 games.
Oh, man.
And even the great Brandon Whedon started 1 game.
Did he score with him?
These were the guys. The best quarterback in his first 3 years.
What did you?
The best quarterback was Matt Shaw of old.
Okay, so my question is, what are you proving?
My proof is DeAndre Hopkins was a superstar the moment he came into the league.
He had 800 yards.
Okay, the second year he came into the league. Donovan Peoples-Jones is a nice player. He's a nice player.
I agree.
I like him being on my team.
Okay.
If I don't have a better option.
Okay.
And I would keep him around. I'm not looking to get rid of him. But are the Browns signing him to an extension next year?
Probably
They are
not.
You
Probably
thi-
not.
so he's walking. So why not trade him for something?
Because I'm trying to win.
Today.
Now,
If he ain't
if I somehow could get him for a linebacker that was an improvement, I would trade him.
All right, what are you talking
But I'm
about?
only making a trade if it helps
So
me
you
this
okay
year.
with letting people walk for free?
No.
Guys walk for free all the time. It happens. It's
No,
part of
that's
the game.
dumb. And that's dumb.
McNuggets,
Go
what
ahead,
you got
Those were a
McNuggets.
5th-round pick.
Go ahead, McNuggets.
Go ahead.
We got a lot more to get to today,
Yeah.
and a lot of football that we have to get to with Tyvis as our resident DB. But I want to tell you real quick what the YouTube chat is saying about this back and forth discussion. Whenever we tell you what
that
the
bull
YouTube
is
chat
wrong.
is saying, it's brought to us by our good friends at PCC Airfoils. If you're
Smokestack.
looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits, well, PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and a signing bonus. You can apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. It was too difficult to nail all those arguments into one poll, so we just simply said, who's right, Tyvis or Bull? We left G out of this as the king of the YouTube chat. G never loses a YouTube poll.
G is with Bull.
Yeah,
in emphatic fashion, in dominant fashion, Tyvis Powell received 73% of the vote. Tyvis, according to the YouTube chat, is right.
Right about what?
Congratulations, Tyvis.
Tyvis's opinion is that he doesn't care one way or the other.
I am Switzerland on it for sure.
Let me tell you something,
but y'all probably
I love our fans. I do. But gee, is that the ultimate indictment of our fans? That 73% of our fans said, yeah, I'm okay either way. The Browns fan, we're the most pathetic franchise in football for the last 3 decades, but we don't need DeAndre Hopkins. I'm okay either way.
Here's what I say. You know, I said that last.
Not the most pathetic.
I sat that last one out. Here's a reality. I don't look. Yeah, I was in the chat. I really don't even like the argument that we having is beneath where I want to go. It's beneath where I want to get to. Like, I'm not sitting here telling me about whether Donovan Peoples-Jones is a good ball. I don't care nothing about that. What I care about is winning. If you believe that the Cleveland Browns can go to Arrowhead and beat the Kansas City Chiefs with the squad as constituted, and you don't believe DeAndre Hopkins helps you do that, you're crazy. I want all the players.
I don't think nobody's saying that.
But here's my thing.
If you say you don't care either way, then you are saying
That's not
that.
what I'm saying.
That's not my point. That I don't care nothing. I don't like 50-50 nothing. I'm all the way in. When I say all the way in, I trade my wife for DeAndre Hopkins. Get up out of here. You ain't doing nothing.
That's trying to win right there.
I want to win. I don't
trying to win.
I trade my brother. Listen, get out. You got to go. Listen, the fierce urgency of today.
This is pretty messed
No,
up.
You
might have some papers sitting there.
Ain't no paperwork. I wouldn't trade DeAndre Hopkins cleaning up and doing different things, and I don't want to cuddle with DeAndre Hopkins. Pause. But what you get my gist of my point is.
Would you cuddle with DeAndre Hopkins if it meant getting him on the Browns?
I might.
I would. I'd cuddle with him.
Like, we got to be fully clothed.
You don't want to cuddle with him.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not committed like that. Nope. Sure won't.
Hey, listen.
Because the thing is, whether you cuddle with him or not, his decision is made. I don't think a cuddle with a man is going to make him change his mind. So, no.
You've never cuddled with me before, Tyvis. All right, Mikey, what do you got?
And the ultimate way to end that argument debate is with that line, Bo. That is why you are a consummate professional. Next thing we got to get to, and Tyvis, I'm glad you're here. Sometimes we save certain topics for when you are in the house because you played defensive back in the NFL, you played safety in the NFL, and this next topic is about one Grant Delpit. Bucky Brooks, the really intelligent writer for NFL.com, released his all-defensive breakout team in 2023. And, Steve, you can take 175 full here. We'll go through the full team. Grant Delpit's on it. And then I want to see if Tyvis believes that if Jim Schwartz, could unlock his full potential. On the defensive line, according to Bucky Brooks, his all-breakout defensive team for 2023 is Gregory Rousseau of Buffalo, George Karlaftis of Kansas City. His defensive tackles are Devontae Wyatt and Derek Brown.
What did you call him?
Devontae Wyatt?
No, George.
Karlaftis.
Oh, okay.
I said it right.
Purdue.
Purdue.
He's a Boilermaker.
First-round pick, 31st.
All right, Nakobe
pick
Dean,
last year.
pull it together, will you?
Nakobe Dean, Philadelphia. Caden Ellis, who I've never heard of as the other linebacker from Atlanta. And in the secondary is Derek Stingley Jr. of Houston, J.C. Horn of Carolina, Demordre Lenore. Did I say that one right?
That sounds like a character from Harry Potter.
Demondre Lenore, and then Grant Delpit and Andre Sisco as his two safeties.
Andre Sisco sounds like a guy who works for Chippendales.
He went to Syracuse. Tyvis, my question for you. Grant Delpit, breakout season 2023. Is it happening? Is it coming for us?
You know, this is what I will say. Delpit is he's an interesting player because the thing about the NFL is this. To be successful in the NFL, I actually had this conversation with Nathan yesterday. Pretty much from a talent standpoint, everybody's pretty much even, okay? You look at the safeties around the NFL, there's nobody that's really that much spectacular like that. So what is it that separate guys is the above shoulders. It's the mental, it's the studying, it's the preparation for games. I think Delpit last year at the end of the season, after getting dragged for reasons that people had no idea or just was dragging him just to drag him, after I clearly told y'all he was not at fault for a lot of the stuff. But towards the end of the season, he started making plays. And he was
looking like Troy Polamalu.
That's absurd.
That's a little crazy.
That's absurd.
That's a little
That's not like the Tom Brady thing.
Not at all.
Not at all, because
that's not
the
absurd.
difference
Ed
was,
Reed.
Ed Reed?
No. Ed was taking him to the house.
Oh, okay.
This guy,
Yeah.
if we want to put him in a modern day, if we want to put him next to a good safety,
Sean Taylor?
he looked like Eric Weddle.
Mm.
That's a name that he kind of looked like. So he made a ton of plays during the back stretch of that season down the end. He became one of the best DBs in the secondary when it came to getting turnovers and making plays. I think that Jim Schwartz will do a great job of keeping him. You got to keep him in that comfortable position that he's in. Obviously, he's a box safety. Where he was thriving at last year was being around the ball. He finally started to read his keys. He understood where he fit in run gaps. And when it was time to make plays in the pass game, he was able to read that quarterback's front shoulder, understand where the ball was coming, and he was able to get good breaks on it. If Jim Schwartz wants him to excel, and it's a contract year for him anyway, so, everybody tends to play well their contract year. Jim Schwartz has to do a good job of keeping him comfortable around the box. Don't put him in the post. Obviously, that's why Juan Thornhill is here. And he has to take that step as being a leader on the field. Now, the interesting thing about him yesterday is after I got off the field, or after they got done with practice as I'm walking out, he stopped at the little surface thing. So everybody went in the building to go to the locker room to change. He stayed out there, and they had like the little Surface, because they don't use iPads, they use the Microsoft Surface. Mm-hmm. He actually stood there and was watching the play. And as I walking by, I said, "You can't even get to the locker room, huh? You got to figure out what you did wrong." He said, "Yeah, I got to know. So it tells me that he's trying to learn the game, and he's trying to correct his mistakes, because you got to become obsessed with this thing. If you really want to be great at this game, you got to be obsessed with your job. You can't just do it on the field and then leave. And you got to study the film, understand, maybe I took a wrong step. Maybe I can't put my body weight on this foot on this play before it starts if I want to get there. Like, that's how you got to be. You got to be so picky in your movement if you want to be great. And to me, him taking that step by looking at that iPad or that Surface after practice shows me that he's at least dedicated to trying to be a better player. So I can see him becoming a breakout player. He has to be a breakout player for the Browns, actually.
And what he's saying right there is right on. That was my problem with what they was doing last year. I didn't see nobody doing that last year. He wasn't stopping, looking at the iPad before he went into the locker room. You know what that is? That means somebody on your ass. That means Jim Schwartz is not playing around with you. I like the way he talked. He talked different, bro. Like that Joe Woods massage your shoulders. Like just go back and just understand the way they was operating. Last year, and I told everybody in 2019, when they was decently good, I said, this guy's you're never gonna reach where you want to go mess around with this guy. This guy it's optional. Like, think about it. These guys, a lot of the guys that are playing, they got mercenary mentalities. When a guy tells the defensive coordinator, "I'm only playing on these downs,"
I can't believe
that's
that.
a disgrace.
I can't believe
the season was over.
I can't believe
because everybody else was like. Then you had guys coming out telling you, you know what? We actually, it messed us up that Jamar Chase wasn't playing.
I mean, that was
listen, I tell you what though. While speaking on Delpit, it's also a hidden variable that happened this year that's going to lead him to be a breakout player. Jim Schwartz brought a guy that he knows is going to get the job done.
Right.
McLeod is behind you. Your leash is about this long.
Love it.
As you said,
I love it.
Tyvis.
So what I have to be on my stuff because the dude behind me, he is that leader. He's been where I'm trying to go. He knows the playbook.
He's a Super Bowl champion.
He knows everything. So I have no choice but to be on my A game. And to be honest with you, if they want Delpit to take the next step, that was the best move that they had to do.
Yeah, and as you said,
and on top of that, McLeod had a break on the ball yesterday. He didn't make the play because, like I said, Deshaun Watson was looking like Tom Brady. He was willing and dealing that thing. He zipped it right past him. But his break, he understands the game of football. That's what I'm saying. So McLeod could be one of those guys that you see in there.
Well, and a couple of things. First of all, Delpit, as you said, played great at the end of last year. I think he was playing better than anybody in their secondary at the end of the season.
I agree.
And so I think it's a great choice by Bucky Brooks. I think we're all expecting him to break out and be an impact player this year. And the Browns have a ton of talent in the secondary. They had it last year, but they didn't make a ton of impact. We need some impact plays from the safety. That's what takes a defense from good to really good. I mean, There's no more elite defenses in the NFL, not like the Bears in 85, those Ravens defenses, the Giants, even Seattle team a few years ago. Like, it's the rules are all in favor of the offense. It's hard keeping guys around. But to be a really good defense, I think, beyond, obviously you want the pass rush and you want to be pretty steady across the board.
That's like the number one part.
But the secondary, to me, making impact plays. Like, a lot of the good teams on defense have at least one guy in the secondary that's making big-time plays, whether it's sacks, whether it's a lot of interceptions.
Well, you know what helps with that is this crazy pass rush that they got now. With that lineup that I seen on that D-line.
Yeah, tell the folks about that.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was sitting there, right? So they go team period, and I see the first D-line come out.
Yeah.
So I'm interested, like, who is starting on the D-line? Man, Jim Schwartz, you need to cut this out because you ain't playing fair right now. This is sad. He got Miles at one end. Next to him was Dalvin Tomlinson. Next to Dalvin was Zadarius Smith. And on the outside was Obo. And they're both ends is standing up. And I was sitting there like, you got 3 primetime pass rushers. Well, we think Obo is. He obviously had a good potentially.
Yeah.
And then you got Dalvin in the middle. Like that man's still, bro. That's sad.
It makes a lot of sense because we've been talking about it. They don't really have another defensive tackle that's a sure thing starter.
Yeah, I mean, they got the the Mo Hurst, who I hear a lot of good things about.
But Zadarius Smith is better than all those guys. So if you can play inside, then
and on top of that, what is Zadarius Smith's favorite move? Bully. So, I mean, it's essentially another pass rush in there, and he's in the middle. And
especially when Dalvin Tomlinson is huge, he's going to demand a double team because he's so big.
Yep.
Like, and if you're playing Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith right next to each other, that's panic time for the offensive line.
You ain't doubling nobody.
I know you're excited about that.
You might need to slide the protection that way.
Man, I'm excited because you start to see the change of the mentality. When you get guys, a lot of times when you're a bad team, rookies start when they should be starting.
Right.
You go get
we've seen that from the Browns for years.
They shouldn't even be in the rotation. You get a bunch of older players who just cashing checks that's starting. And so you end up with this hodgepodge because all of those guys are the best players you have. That's why I am a firm believer in I want depth and I want competition. I love what I just saw right there. How many times has Myles Garrett ever been challenged in practice? You see what they want to see? Let's get on we got Zadarius Smith now. Now we gonna compete on who get the best get off. Look at this. Now look, and you lost this with Myles Garrett, and you lost. So this is how you get better. Getting better is not, and I want to talk about it like from this standpoint. We can't keep talking about culture. Anytime that you hear somebody say that is a tag word, and it's it's laziness when you say that. What the hell is culture? Everything good and bad can't go under a catchphrase. I need people to make damn plays. I need you to get a good get off. That ain't culture. I need you to make a break on the ball. That's not culture. I need you to compete every single day at practice knowing that, guess what? Obo might be getting the bulk of the rushes because he's producing. If you want to be on this mix, we'll play Zadarius Smith inside. Don't think that, like, we be giving positions away. What's the name? Guys talk about Jordan Elliott. Listen, I don't want to hear nothing about Jordan Elliott. You had a 50.
Can't play.
You can't play. You had an opportunity last year. Perrion Winfrey, you had your opportunity. Y'all had 40s. And y'all really wasn't even doing what you were supposed to do in the offseason. Then you said, you know what? Let me go ahead and get everybody. That's what I like to see. Give me some ball players and get these rest of these dudes out of here. I like competition at every single position. I don't care. Go get you somebody.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. And I will say, you guys have both referenced Jim Schwartz. Like, Kevin Stefanski's the nice guy, right?
Yeah.
And Joe Woods was a nice guy. I need somebody like to be the badass.
Mike Prefer, nice guy.
Yeah.
Like, these dudes just walked all over this.
Jim Schwartz is not putting up with any of this. But can you imagine if Clowney said to Schwartz, "I'm not going to play on rundowns"?
Go get dressed.
He would have said, "Well, you ain't gonna be on this roster. You ain't gonna be on this roster."
That's embarrassing. That shit can't happen anymore. Yeah. And Ray Ventrone, special teams. You don't see much of special teams.
Well, he's running down on kickoffs. He's got
an animal.
He's got a lot of passion.
He played like an animal.
So
he
working
the coach like an animal.
So the coach is running down with the players.
Yeah.
Don't let me beat you.
I love that.
I like
that. He's into it.
He's coaching like he's still playing special teams, fighting for that roster
Pretty
spot.
much.
Love it. Go ahead, Mikey.
We're going to wrap up the Grant Delpit talk with some Coach Tyvis breakdown in a second. But before we do that, if you want to see some other elite football action, head down to Canton this weekend. The UCSS squad will be there checking out Boogie and the Pittsburgh Maulers take on the New Jersey Generals at noon.
Boogie!
$10 tickets, theusfl.com for all your fun, family-friendly events. You can get the tickets and check out the rest of the community service, game schedule, stats, anything you want at usfl.com. Check them out. We'll be there on Saturday in Canton to watch our guy Boogie. And Tyvis, we went through and picked 3 of the best plays we could find.
Hold on, but before we do that, let me break down the one throw because I need to criticize.
No, before we do it, would you play in USFL like today? They call it. Would you play?
I tell you what, yesterday being out on that field around them Browns players, I sure missed the game. Yeah, I would definitely strongly consider it. If my knees was good, I would definitely consider it.
How much they paying in the USFL?
Probably 40,
Last Boogie.
30, 40,000.
Yeah, somewhere like so. Yeah.
Tyvis, do you want to break down the bad before the good or the good and end with the bad?
No, I want the bad before the good.
All right, Steve, you can take tag board full. Anthony can play it. Then we'll get into the actual clips from last year.
It'll be quick because I'm pretty sure after practice this is probably what he was looking at. So Delpit is down right there at the bottom. Now, to me, it looks like they either running like some inverted cover 2. That's got to be what they're in. They look like they're in an inverted cover 2, which means Delpit would be the flats player. Now, what he needs to realize is on this is it's 2x2. Okay, so if it's 2x2, somebody's going vertical. Once somebody stops, they put the cheese in his face. They sit down. I think that's Elijah Moore.
Yep.
They sit him down to bite the cheese. When 2 goes,
and he went for it.
Yeah, when 2 goes vertical, you have no choice but to open up because you don't know what route you're getting from him. And your job is to be underneath that 7 cut to put air under the ball. Him flat-footing right here, Deshaun, any quarterback's gonna look at that and say, "Oh, the flat dropper is sitting there flat-footed, looking at me and not opened up. Oh, that's a throw behind his head." And Deshaun does a great job putting the ball where he can't get it. So that if he wants to know what he needs to do, you need to open up and get to the sideline. Open up what I mean is that he needs to open his hips and drive that front shoulder. His left shoulder needs to open up towards the sideline, and he needs to back up out of that to get underneath that 7.
At what point? Tell us the
right now, because Cooper is past him. You see how Cooper is vertical?
So once Cooper goes past him, you got to open up. You got to open up
because you don't know what he's running.
Right.
If he runs a post route, fine. Then you can sit. You can sit down. If he throws the check down, that's what you want him to throw. We'll come up and make that tackle.
Rather get beat short than long.
You always play deep to short when playing in that zone coverage.
Right. And when you say 2x2, that means two receivers
to that side.
Okay. Now you know the crazy part about it. If it's like 3rd and 9. I'm
sitting at 9.
I'm not playing. I'm not playing that.
If
that
it's 3rd and 9,
route.
I'm sitting at 9. If he throws it underneath, make the tackle.
I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, Mike, go ahead.
Tyvis, ready to get to the 3 good plays? That was the bad.
Yes.
All right.
And it wasn't even that bad. Here are the 3 good. Tyvis will start with the first
His
run
recovery
stop.
wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't. That's what I'm saying.
If
If he needs to open up. If he opens up, it's not even a play.
Right.
Deshaun won't even throw that.
Right.
Now, does that come from? Is that just route recognition?
That's not route recognition.
Like
what that is that's a guy who doesn't play a lot of cover 2. Because cover 2, as a safety, you're typically the half field player. Mm-hmm. When it's an inverted, the corner becomes the half field. You're coming down to be in that zone to be that flats player. So it just tells me that he doesn't have a lot of reps at being a flats player.
Before we move on to the next clip, Mike, real quick, because Tyvis said something interesting that I think as fans we don't think about a lot. You said that if he had done what you suggested, if he had gotten his hips open, he'd gone down to the deep man, that Deshaun probably doesn't even throw the ball.
No, he ain't throwing it.
And often when we think of corners or safeties, on a passing play, it's like, did you break up the pass? Or we never really think about, well, he did everything right there, so the quarterback didn't even throw the ball.
Deshaun
That's a win essentially for the safety if you do it right.
If everybody do what they supposed, typically on any zone play, if everybody does what they're supposed to do and play it deep to short, you'll know it. You'll know. How do you know it from a random fan? If they throw the check down to the running back, everybody in the zone did what they were supposed to do. You're inviting the zone him to throw it down, because if it's a check down, boom, we rally up.
Especially if it's a good quarterback. Exactly. Now it might be like a crappy quarterback that's not reading it too well.
If it's a second stringer in there, he's just throwing check downs. He's scared.
But like if a good quarterback is checking down, you know that everybody did their job.
The secondary did what they were supposed to do.
Go ahead, Mike.
Before we get to Tyvis's plays, we've officially entered the lunch hour of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, and that is a good time to remind the good people out there that the lunch hour of UCSS is sponsored by Colleague Companies Championship. Check them out at the famous Firestone Country Club, July 12th through the 16th. Free admission for kids, free tickets every night. You can learn more at colleaguegolf.com. Tyvis, we spent a lot of time this morning digging through the archives for these Delpit plays.
Yeah.
So let's get to them, and we'll start with the first run stuff that you wanted to point out here.
Yeah, now all of these come, I think, week 17 when they went up against the Washington Commanders. I almost called them the Redskins. When they went up against the Commanders, this was probably one of Delpit's best games. So right now we got Delpit right here. They're in cover 3. How do I know that? Because I just know, trust me, he's supposed to be a buzz player on this, so he's outside of number 2 on the inside shade. Right there, boom. What I like about this is block destruction. He gets his hands in on the wide receiver, throws them inside. As a buzz player, your responsibility is to keep contained on this ball. So he comes in, he attacks his guy, great block destruction, gets off the block, runs down the block, makes the tackle. I would like for him to stay outside, but I get why he went inside because that receiver kind of tried to cut him off and he met him there. But he does a great job running it down, making plays. To be a great box player, you got to play this game with your hands. Linebackers and safeties have to play the game using their hands. That's how you get off blocks. Right there, it tells me he has violent hands. Boom, he gets the knocks back, throws them to the side, boom, go out there and make the play.
Hey, by the way, can you throw that back up there? Just watch Jordan Elliott on this play.
Oh, my God.
Just watch. Can you watch Jordan Elliott?
This is not about him.
I just want to show you. He's right in the middle of the field. He's right over that guard right there on the right-hand side of the field.
Okay.
Look at this non-awareness.
Oh, my God.
You just ran up the field and just
fell
fell.
out.
That is
pitiful. Now, Tyvis, going back to Delpit on this play, should he have stopped, wait a second, like there and not gone that last stop? Because he could have gotten outside without even making contact with the offensive player.
You got to be sure in this thing, okay?
So he's worried that receiver's going out on a play.
No, he's worried that receiver's trying to dig him out. All right, so if this play is ran correctly and the running back ran, it was supposed to go
back
inside of where Delpit is. So that receiver is trying to cut him off so he can create that gap.
Right.
Which is fine anyway because Delpit is supposed to fit outside anyways. But Deion Jones, the linebacker, does a great job reading it and closes that gap. So what does a great running back do? Boom, bounce it outside to the next gap, and that's what he did.
We want them to bounce. We don't want that.
Yeah, you want it to go lateral. Don't let it go north to south.
He's going to hit his head on the goalpost if you don't get in your gap.
Yeah. All right, next play, McNugget.
All right, Tyvis, you ready for play number 2?
Yeah.
Another run stuff from the same game, but a different version. Tyvis, explain it what you see, my man.
Will do. All right, so Delpit right here. Again, he's in the box. This is another one of those cover 3 things where he's a buzz player. He sees the motion. So with the motion comes G-New. G-New comes in. He's not tracking it along because they're not in man. He's actually becomes the buzz player. Boom, he fits on that outside. Delpit does a great job looking at the rock bat. Where did he fit? He fits on the inside. We call that a spill technique. Spilling it means that you come on the inside. Reason he's doing that because he sees that other guy coming in motion, knowing that he has G-New on the outside, spills it inside, makes the play. It's 2-on-1. If he goes outside, G-New makes the play. If he comes inside, Delpit makes the play. He does the right thing, makes a good tackle.
And he avoids the block, but you're right.
He spills it. You got to spill it. You got to come inside of it because the tight end is going to essentially say, wherever you go, I'm going to take you wherever you go. He goes
they call that a wrong arm that thing.
Yeah.
Wrong arm technique. Get inside.
But it's great recognition by him to be able to see that tight end on that insert. That's creating another gap right there coming inside. It's good recognition. He got good eyes. Next play.
All right, and the last one, Steve, it's the very next video. This is a pass play. There's 2 different angles. This was an interception. And, Tyvis, this is what you did in your entire career at Ohio State. No one better in the world ever in the history of football at doing this than you. So walk us through what Delpit did here.
Okay, so in this one, strangely, ironically, the Browns did something that they normally don't do. They ran cover 2. With number 2, you got the linebacker coming in. He's going to always open up to 3. What do I mean by 3? That means 3 eligible receivers to that side. Wherever side that is, that linebacker has to carry it. He's a vertical carry. He's supposed to stay underneath. The thing I like about Delpit on this play is he has a landmark. As a cover 2 safety, your landmark is pretty much 1 yard inside of the numbers. You go back, you read the quarterback, you tend to weave pedal with the quarterback's shoulder. Boom, he hits his landmark, sees the quarterback looking inside, breaks back inside, makes a play on the ball. I know people that say Carson Wentz threw a terrible throw.
What the hell
Whatever,
was he doing?
doesn't matter about that.
Was it a bad throw?
Hell yeah.
Was it a bad throw?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a no throw. Actually, to be honest with you, Deion Jones
you're not
does a
completing that
heck
pass.
of a job of being a vertical carrier on that, especially on the wide receiver. But it shows that Delpit has his eyes where he needs them to be. He makes plays on the ball, and that's ultimately what you need to do if you're going to be in that cover 2 or anywhere in that post-safety look.
That was
All
a
right.
punt.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, let's go ahead and punt this out of here.
He
Carson
made the
Wentz
play.
still
A
doesn't
lot
have a
of people, some people would drop it. How about that?
Carson Wentz
Yeah,
still doesn't have a job, by the way.
And with stuff like that, he won't.
You know, you can only make the plays you can make. Hey, make the play.
No,
That's
to
on
be
him.
honest with you, he did more than he needed to because it was Deion Jones' play to make. He saw that the quarterback was looking inside. He decided to abort mission, make a play on the ball. I mean, I like that. That's actually harder than it looks. A lot of people like that. It looks like it's easy to hit your landmark at the top of the numbers, try to make it all the way back out inside and make a pick in the middle of the field. That's pretty hard.
See, that's what we like, man. Like, you know, it's one thing to be in your gap, do your responsibility, but Tyvis, no, every coach gonna preach. I want playmakers.
I'm about to say, you got to be a ball
right.
player.
Yeah,
Robot,
plays.
because that's not his play to make. Like I
Yeah.
say, his
Right.
play is anything from the hash to the outside. That's your play to make. For him to make it in the middle of the field, he's going
That's
above
what
and
he's trying to
beyond.
be a
That's being a
playmaker.
ball player.
By the way, on a completely unrelated note, breaking news from the world of wrestling. Legendary wrestler, the Iron Sheik, has died at the age of 82. Remember the Iron Sheik?
Man, come on, man. The Iron Sheik is
He's a legend.
he's a first ballot Hall of
yeah.
Famer.
No doubt, no doubt. Go ahead, Mikey.
All right, we have one more topic that we can't hold because Tyvis is here, and that also has to do with Browns defensive backs. Not safeties, though. This one's cornerbacks. PFF released its list of the top 30 cornerbacks entering the 2023 season. 2 Browns landed on it. We're going to go through the full list real quick, so don't interrupt. I'm going to go 1 through 30.
We're going to interrupt.
Then we're going to figure out where the Browns trio of Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, and Martin Emerson rank among the best trios of cornerbacks in the league. So according to PFF, here are their cornerback rankings heading into 2023.
That's crazy. Sauce
It's
Gardner.
Sauce Gardner at number 1, Jalen Ramsey at 2,
was
Darius
awesome.
Slay at
The
3,
fact
Patrick
that
Surtain
PS2
4.
at 4 is sacrilege. He's number 1.
I couldn't get through 2 names without you guys in it.
We both said we was
PS
gonna do it.
Incredible.
I warned
PS2 is
you.
the best corner in the league, and that's crazy that he's number 4. But go
But
ahead.
if you're starting a team from scratch, you're taking Sauce Gardner. 'cause
I'm
he's
taking
younger.
PS2.
Well, he's a lot older. isn't he?
PS2 is 1 year older.
No, he's 1 year
All right.
older.
I'm
Yeah.
lost on that one.
And Jair Alexander at 5. 6 through 10 here, Steve. We have Stephon Gilmore, Marshawn Lattimore, Tyvis' old teammate at 7. Trayvon Diggs at 8. J.C. Horn at 9. Jamel Dean at 10. 11.
Makes good
Travarius Ward in San Francisco. A.J. Terrell at 12. James Bradbury 13. The first round, Denzel Ward comes in at number 14. And Tre'Davious White at 15. Number 16 is Tariq Woolen, the NFC Defensive Rookie of the Year last year. Xavier Howard at 17. Awuzie at 18. Sean Murphy Bunting at 19. Marlon Humphrey at 20. We'll keep it moving. You have DJ Reed, Mike Hilton, Teron Johnson, Trent McDuffie, Tyson Campbell of Jacksonville, 21 through 25. And to round out PFF's list, you have L'Jarius Sneed, Greg Newsome at 27, Nate Hobbs, Carlton Davis, and Darius Williams. So anything jump out from that list from you guys before we talk about the best trios in football?
Where's Martin Emerson at?
There's not an honorable mentions list, but I would assume he would be in the honorable
Is
mentions
he a top
category.
30 corner?
To me, he's better than Newsom.
Is Newsome a top 30 corner?
Wow.
To me, I listen. For me, I like the fact that Newsom or Emerson is more physical. He's bigger. He plays more aggressive. He has longer arms. He has he don't get beat deep, and if he do get beat, he's always by the ball. Neither one of them really have got picks. So if you ask me so far as a corner, I like big corners versus small corners. I mean, am I crazy?
Do you like big corners, or you like corners that can play anywhere, can match his man anywhere he's at on the field? Because that would get you paid. You want a number 1 corner, you want him to check the number 1 guy, whether he's inside or outside, right? Because if you got Martin Emerson, a guy and his guy says, you know what, I'm going in the slot this play, and Martin's like, I can't do the slide. So
Well,
now he's forced to be on the outside. Then that's a problem.
I'm
right?
just saying.
I'm just asking you.
I like good ball players, whether you play
Because
inside
I'm
or
with
outside.
you. Personally, I like Martin Emerson a lot more too, but for the list purposes, I mean, G New is more valuable because he goes inside and outside.
Well, if you ask, I would say.
And people out there, it's a different world playing that nickel. It's not like you could just say go in there and play man on that guy. It don't roll like that.
Let's not get crazy. The Browns don't have the best cornerback trio in the league.
No, I didn't say they did.
Right. They don't. I don't know why anybody would think they do. You don't have they don't have.
They up there. Don't get me wrong.
Right, but
they up there.
You said before the show the Cowboys are
The
better.
Dallas is number one.
But I'll give you a few. The Jets are better.
I don't know who their nickel is. That's the problem.
Their nickel is, I think it's Michael Carter, isn't it? They have two Michael Carters, a running back. And
See, I'm not hip. See, I know Sauce and I know DJ. I know DJ because I played with
Philadelphia's got
DJ.
a better trio.
Who is their nickel? I know Darius Slay and I know James Bradbury.
Does it even matter?
Yeah, it matters. Yes, it does.
Who's their?
I looked it up and I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
I might
For the
like
Eagles?
See, but with Dallas, I can.
Who's the Eagles slot corner?
Yeah, who is?
Avonte Maddox.
Oh, he's
good, too.
I like him. He's
I like
good.
the 49ers.
What about Denver?
I like the
Your
49ers.
guy is. Your guy says the best corner in the league. is on
PS2.
Denver.
Okay, but who's the other? Who is
They
his
got
supporting cast? That's
K'Wan Williams.
He was a former Niner, right? He played for the Niners.
Yeah, he's a good player.
That's my boy too. KK is like he like
Why are
that.
you looking at me like that?
I'm just saying I need to know who's the corner, who's the opposite corner, because I don't know who it is. I know KK like that. That's my boy. We like this.
Miami, all right too.
Miami don't got a nickel. That's their problem.
Miami, all right too.
Jacksonville's got Tyson Campbell and Darius Williams.
I don't know who Darius is. That the dude from the Rams? They got to prove it.
remember.
They got to prove it longer. See, I don't know who Cater Kahu is.
Cater Kahu of the great Kahu
I don't know who
family.
that is.
that-
I know the other two, but I don't know who that is.
That conversation's a little silly because we're not going to know other teams' secondaries
I
in
know-
depth like we know the
Oh,
Browns.
I know Dallas's.
Okay.
Gilly, Diggs, and J. Lou and Nickel. They like that. The
Browns have-
they like that.
To me, you can't have the
That's
Browns.
Deron Bland is
The
not
Browns.
is
The Browns
J. Lou.
is Denzel Ward a top 10 corner in the league?
Probably not.
He was 14 on PFF.
Is he a top 10?
I don't think
Let me
he
see
is.
that. Let me see that list
Probably
again.
not.
Let me see who they got in front of them.
You can't
All
have
right,
the best
so
cornerback
the
trio
top
if you don't have
five-
a top 10 corner.
We'll skip the top 5 because those 5 are definitely
Yeah,
5
right.
into at least the top 10 if you want to say someone else. So
Okay.
this is 6 through 10 here. Stephon Gilmore, Tyvis, if you want to
He's
go
not
one
better
on
than any of
one.
those guys, is he?
But he
Nah.
makes an argument for 9 and 10. But I like J.C. Horn gonna be really good in
J.C.
this
Horn's
league.
really
he
good.
just can't stay healthy.
He's been hurt.
But 9 and 10,
Jamel
I
Dean's really
can
good.
hear. If that's the case, if he's at 9 and we saying he's
Well,
really
who
good.
else you got? Give me 11 through
Denzel's
15.
hurt too, so 9 and 10. Now Travarius Ward is really good.
Yeah, we should be.
James
James
Bradbury
Bradbury
was all pro last
So
year.
is Tre'Davious White.
AJ Terrell is really like that too.
You
Browns-
can make,
Tre'Davious White is really. I watched him in person strap somebody.
you can make an argument that he probably need to be about 17.
I don't know about that.
The
16.
Browns have a good secondary. They have a
Solid.
good
I
cornerback
think-
trio, but not the best.
I think that
Good.
Denzel didn't play. He didn't have a great year last year, but
No.
the year before that, before he signed, he had an amazing year to me.
Yeah, I thought a couple of
I
years
think
ago
last
he
year he
was a
didn't have a
top
good
10
year.
corner,
Yeah.
but he's dropped off.
Which is, but and I just
That
had,
happens every year.
You know what? I just had this argument with somebody actually.
Yeah.
It's funny that this comes up. He was saying Denzel Ward is trash. He ain't like
That's
that no more.
silly.
And I
That's
said,
silly.
he said ever since Denzel got paid, he ain't been good.
Well, it's been 1
It's
year.
been 1 year. That's
Yeah.
why I said it's been 1 year. So basically, what you telling me is Xavier Howard is trash. You telling me Jalen Ramsey is trash. You telling me it's just a whole bunch of
Yeah.
corners I listed. Basically, I went through the highest paid corners in the league.
Yeah.
None of them was all pro last year, except for I think Jair
Right.
Alexander was second team maybe. So you're telling me that Denzel is trash, but all these other guys that got paid also wasn't first or second team all pro. So therefore, you can't really say that. Corner position is an up and down year. And the reason
That's true.
The reason that Sherman gets so mad when we talk about this is because he claims that he was just, every year in and year out, he always was at the top of his game and he never fell off. And they let these they get these corners that get all this $100 million.
Right.
They get paid and they be having these up and down years.
That's true.
And I'm like, he's right. He's
It
right
is-
about that.
It's a position where it feels like every year there's a new best guy.
Yeah.
Right? It was your guy, and then now this year it's Sauce Gardner. And then next year it'll be somebody else.
It's PS2.
Whatever. But, like, I'm saying.
Sauce Gardner is second, though.
Okay. Whatever.
PS2 is the best corner.
The point
in the league,
is,
I'm telling
at this moment, to say Denzel Ward is trash is stupid. But at this moment, I don't think he's a top 10 corner. Doesn't mean he can't be this year.
I think he got to.
Going into the season, I don't think anybody would put him as a top 10
What I would
corner.
say is he has all the ability and intangibles to be that. He has to do it.
Right.
He just has to
didn't do it last year.
He didn't do it last year. He has to do it
Right.
this year.
But
it's not saying that he can't be. He can't. He has all the skill set to be. He got to do it.
The Browns have.
And if they want to be good this year with that pass rush, he should be that.
The Browns could have 3 corners in the top 30, 35 corners in the league.
I agree.
think that's possible.
I agree.
And which makes them a really good secondary. But there's some teams that have, guy like you can't be the best to me if your best guy's not top 10 right now.
Yeah, you
for me.
Unless you got some.
That's not true.
Unless your corners,
in my opinion.
unless
So
your corners is 12,
what
13, and 14.
What if 3 of them was 11, 12, and 13?
Okay, well that's an exception.
Tyvis is the
But
king
that's
of
not the
finding
case.
like the one little caveat to something you say.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then
if you had 3 at 11, 12, 13, okay, but that's not the case. So,
Well, you can't say what you gotta
All
like.
right,
Like Jay
in that
Crawford.
unique-
If Jay Crawford has taught me anything,
Yeah.
you have to make sure you word
Specific.
it correctly.
Jay loves
You
yes.
can't say all.
He
and
loves
you can't
that.
say none.
Most. You got to say most.
Well, I'll say this.
Some.
I need them to make. If you want to be up there, you got to make plays.
Yeah.
I need.
They don't make
Well,
enough plays.
with the D line that they have, it should be inexcusable.
Greg Newsome, I'm waiting for that first pick, big
Man,
homie.
me too. Make sure you keep that ball
more
and
like
put
a
it
little
in,
homie.
enshrine it. This is
You can't call him a little homie. You can't call him.
You got-
You can't call like somebody. That's like if I come up to Tyvis and say, "Hey, what's up, little homie?" He got to fight. Like especially if it's in front of the people, he got to fight. Like,
Remember that wide receiver? I can't remember his name. The Browns had this wide receiver, the tiniest guy I've ever seen in my life.
JoJo Natson.
Nah, it was longer ago. Oh man, he showed up at the radio station once. I thought it was some high school kid. I didn't realize he was a wide receiver on the Browns. And I can't. He was with them for like 2-3 years. He really didn't do that.
What year? How long ago?
I want to say like somewhere in the 14 to 18.
yeah, he was there. Like
The name's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. But he was like, he must have been like
the first
5'9".
round. What was the first round pick?
No, he
dude?
wasn't a first round.
Yeah.
pick.
From Baylor.
Josh
Corey
Gordon?
Coleman.
Corey Coleman.
Oh, Corey Coleman. I'm thinking about Josh.
He
Gordon.
wasn't good either.
Well, he was like
Corey Coleman was trash. That guy's trash.
Wow.
See, it's a certain it's catchphrases. Like people get mad. Like here's 3 catchphrases that people might want to go in your mouth for. If you call somebody a little homie, but the other word is, if you in the streets, it's little something else. But it's you know what I'm getting at. It's little homie. You can't say that.
I know.
You gotta
I
fight.
know
what you get at.
Yeah. But you can't say that.
No.
And then if you say, "Oh, bro, you trash," they be like, "Trash."
That is very offensive.
That's fighting words.
Explain trash, dog. Like, or
You call somebody trash.
or
it's fighting words.
or if you say like, if you would like if you said you were gonna do something like Tupac said he did to Biggie's wife, that would be that you got to fight against that. You have to fight.
It wasn't his. Oh, that was his wife.
That was at the time. See,
You talking about how it started off.
yeah, that's how it started.
Why,
That's why you should never be in clubs and don't give them the Willie McGinnis treatment. Like you can't.
No, not Andrew.
Did that story ever come out about Willie? Why he did that?
I was looking for it.
Wait, no, I need to know why Willie
Because why
McGinnis
would he
decided to risk it all
like you can't beat the brakes off somebody like that. Like they got the, and I never understood the word beating the brakes off somebody. Like what is this? Do your brake pads come off? Like
That is actually, and it's a very overused
or
phrase.
why would you say lukewarm instead of like Mark Warm or John Warm?
Oh, I know what I wanted to say. While we on the topic of talking about these DBs, the one interesting thing that I seen yesterday was this: Denzel is actually getting practice with being in the slot because. Because Jim Schwartz is on the. I'm gonna let y'all gonna cover.
You gotta do everything.
Guy. So it was interesting because him and Gnu, while they was doing special teams, him and Gnu was all to the side with the DB coach, and they were working on stacks and bunches. And Denzel was trying to figure out, where do I fit in the run game? If it's in the passing game, who do I take on stacks and bunches? How we gonna work that? It's universal rules with that, so that'll be an easy pickup. But I thought him learning that was interesting, and him learning the run responsibilities is interesting because last year it was a couple of games where it's not just him. I think it was a bunch of guys in the secondary who misfit gaps because obviously corners is not really involved in the run game like that much until these offenses make them be a part of the run game.
Gardner is in the run game.
So they make you it's the number one formation is if you see bunch formation and it's tight to the line of scrimmage. You see it's crunch to the bunch, meaning that everybody gonna block down the running back going outside, and it's the corner. If the corner want to hit, he gonna make the tackle. If he misses, it's a good 10-yard gain every time.
Come on. Don't make
crunch to the bunch is what it's called.
Don't make no business decisions. The defensive end's supposed to be alert. You know they coming out there.
If you see a bunch and they next to the tackle, you know what time
and
it is.
They on the
As
opposite,
a DB, you know what it is.
And it's on the opposite hash.
Just get ready.
You know what it is.
Listen, don't even back up. You get about 7 yards off. Don't take no steps back. Bite down on that mouthpiece and get ready to come up. I said mouthpiece. So it's what it's called. It's called a mouthpiece. Bite on your mouthpiece and come up and make the tackle. Front foot forward. Near shoulder hit. Boom. Keep everything inside. If you miss, at least it'll be leveraged and he'll come inside and you got linebackers flowing to the ball.
McNuggets
and I miss playing the game.
McNuggets bite down on that mouthpiece over there and get out this read.
By the way,
one question for Tyvis.
By the way, one of these days we got to play a game of former Brown skill position player or auto mechanic or something like that.
We'll do that. We'll add it to the list. Tyvis, I do have a question
Brad
for
Smelly.
you to put a bow tie on this topic, then we'll talk a little baseball and pivot. But last season, the trio of Ward, Newsome, and Emerson had 3 combined interceptions.
Yeah.
Right now, give me a number. Those 3 combined, how many picks in 2023?
Oh, all 3 of them together?
Combined.
You know what? I'm going to go lucky number 7.
I want him to have 10.
Lucky number 7.
7?
I think a lot of picks is gonna come from the safety. I think Thornhill's gonna get you. He's gonna get you 4 to 5, and I think Delpit's gonna get you about 3.
I can't believe you chatted with Thornhill and didn't bring me up with him. That's messed up.
We were talking. I was in the middle of a beef between him and Marquise Goodwin.
Oh, tell me about that.
Well, it's a friendly chatter, but you know, Juan Thornhill is the trash talker for the defense. Marquise is the trash talker for the offense. So they was going back and forth on that, and they was talking about.
And you played with Marquise.
Yeah, I played with Marquise. Marquise had ran a deep route, and Thornhill was saying, like, don't worry, I can keep up with you because I check Cheetah, so I'm good. You ain't that much faster than him and stuff like that. So they was chirping about that. He was basically telling him, in all seriousness, I appreciate you for challenging me like that and helping me up my game. So it was.
Is
it was
Marquise faster than Tyreek Hill?
It is.
At this point,
it's to be determined. I don't know.
No,
I wouldn't think so.
I don't know.
No.
He's only a year older than Tyreek Hill.
They've had beef about this on Twitter.
Oh.
They've been wanting to race because Marquise is on the whole like, bro, I'm an Olympian. Like, if you want to line it up, let's line it up type.
So then they should do it already.
I think they should, but you know, time is it's nothing like the present.
That's right.
You got 6 weeks off after this week. So
all right, guys, let's switch it up. Talk some baseball. Yesterday, again, the Guardians with another close loss. They've been terrible in these. What is their record overall in the 1-run games? Do you know it offhand, Mike?
I know they've lost 17.
Well, that doesn't tell us anything. What kind of stat is that?
Well, they've lost 30-something games and 17 have been one.
I mean, but have they won 20 or they won 10? That's a big difference.
I was just saying, I don't know the number off the top of my head. I just know they've lost 17. So I'll look it up. You dropped
the ball as producer today.
I'll get it. I'll get the staff. But no, it's 17 one-run loss games, which is the most in Major League Baseball. So
all right.
I'll find how many they've won.
But again, if they're 20 and 17 in one-run games, it's not that bad. If they're 10 and 17, it's terrible.
I will find the other half of that equation. But as you alluded to, they have been terrible in close games. And to lose 17 of their 31 losses, 33 losses, it's over 50% have been one-run games.
They blew a lead again. They had a 2-0 lead. Bieber got in trouble in the 6th. And then in the 8th inning, they had De Los Santos in there, and he just got
He been getting hit lately. He been getting touched.
Yeah.
He been getting hit touched lately. He gave up some hits a couple weeks ago.
I got a question for you.
2 hits, 2 walks, faced 4 batters, didn't get anybody out.
I got a question that's unrelated to the game from yesterday.
Yeah.
Could you consider McKenzie as an ace if he continues to play the way he?
Do I consider who an ace?
McKenzie.
No, not yet, but I think he has the potential to be an ace.
So
yes.
because obviously the Bieber trade is starting to heat up. If they get rid of Bieber, who would you consider the ace of this team?
I mean, he'd be your number one starter.
Okay.
You know, not every team has an ace necessarily. Okay. I mean, like you got to have a number one. You know, so like he'd be your number one starter. If you traded Bieber and you started a playoff series, you'd go with McKenzie in game one. But not every team has an ace. There are not 32 aces in baseball. Some teams have more than one ace, but many teams have none. Tristan McKenzie has to show greatness for more time. Like, he was really, really good last year. He was excellent.
Yeah.
And he was excellent in his first start coming off the injured list. When was it? Saturday? Sunday? Friday? I can't remember the day now. Sunday, I think. Was it Sunday that McKenzie pitched?
McKenzie pitched Sunday, correct.
Right. If he pitches like he did last year for the rest of the season, 2 years in, then I'm ready to call him an ace going into year 3. But he's got to do it for 2 years at least.
So who would you say is number 2 then?
Behind him?
Yeah. Bybee, Allen.
I would say, I mean, at the moment, if Bieber were gone, and you asked me, okay, I got to play a playoff series tomorrow, what's your starting rotation? I'd pitch Tristan McKenzie in game 1. I'd pitch Bybee in game 2. And I pitched Logan Allen in game 3. Okay. The problem is those guys have barely pitched in the majors.
That's what I was about to say.
Now, there's a lot of talent. Tristan McKenzie is a through-the-roof talent. Yeah. So is Tanner Bybee. Logan Allen, not quite as talented as those two guys, but still good. But there's a lot of inexperience. I mean, McKenzie did get some playoff experience last year. Obviously, the other two guys don't have any. Bieber pitched pretty well yesterday.
Look at him. What is wrong with you?
What are you shaking your head about?
Man, just,
you don't want them to trade Bieber?
What's wrong with you?
Man, it's just, bro, like, man, it gets tiring. It's just tiring when you talk about their philosophy, man. Like, either y'all gonna do, like, at least you'll say it, bro. But like, I think the Indians is like a shelter. It's a safe haven where people can go in a corner and just enjoy life. Like there's no expectations. There's none of that. Like, obviously, if you have young players, they're better than what you have now. I'm tired of seeing old bums play, and every single week it's it's still early. It's still no. They're not contending. This is what it is. They have no sticks. They lose run games, and at least before you can hang your hat on the fact that they had a top flight pitching staff. They don't even really have a top flight pitching staff. They got 1 or 2 guys, as you just stated. Allen, they keep talking about Gavin Williams gets more run in people's vocabulary than the dudes they got up here now. Like the police acts and Savali's and the Quantrells.
I agree with some of what you're saying, not all of it. I mean, some guys, it does take time to be ready. Now, Bo Naylor's ready. He should be playing. We got to stop using him in reserve. I've said this 5 times. I don't know what they're doing. I don't understand why Bo Naylor's not in the majors. And
they put him on a roster last year for the playoffs.
The Guardians do often get a pass from fans and media because they have ultimately had a lot of success. Now, they haven't won a championship, and that's all that matters in the end. It's been the best organization. It's been the most consistently relevant organization. But they do get a pass when they have – a lot of people give them a pass for their shitty payroll and for not calling guys up to the majors because we have a lot of respect for the guys who run the Guardians. Their front office is excellent, and their manager is excellent. So some people are afraid to criticize. I'm not. I'll criticize Frank Conan when it's due. The Guardians screwed up. They should have used some of their prospect depth to trade for a catcher. They didn't do it. The Zunino contract is a disaster. Disaster strong because it's a 1-year deal. The Josh Bell contract is really bad. They're not and the criticism is fair. Now, Gavin Williams, the guy's still really young. He's got to pitch a lot. I'm okay with him not being up yet.
I'm cool with that.
But the rest, there's no excuse for Bo Naylor being in the minors. There's no excuse for this glut of minor league talent
and you don't
not allowing you to trade for quality veterans.
That's what I get.
Their power is embarrassingly bad. They are a contender only because the division is so awful.
Thank you.
But
are they really, like, we give them so much credit for being the farm system and they're the best run. But ask yourself, who in the playoffs have they really, really, really beat?
Well, they did. I mean, in 2016, but since then, no.
Okay, since 16. Who have like
nothing since 16?
They haven't been like I
mean, you beat Tampa Bay last year. Tampa Bay's a good team.
Okay,
that was good, but that's it since 2016.
That's it. So my thing is, I could talk myself into feeling good about being in contention. They're always in contention. They're here. Baseball, anything can happen. Well, actually, no, not in no. That's not actually factual. Like, with this amount of non-hitters on a roster,
they can't win.
It has never happened in baseball.
They're not going to win in the playoffs the way they're currently constituted. Their pitching is not good. It's good. It's not good enough to overcome how bad the hitting is. They won't win. They're not winning anything this year. They could win the division. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if they do. But they'll very likely lose early in the playoffs because they're just not a very good team. That's it. Whoever wins the Central is likely to go out in the first round because they're not very good. Now, could they get aggressive, make some big trades?
You talking about getting Ohtani?
No.
They're not going to get Ohtani. It's not even worth discussing.
Not even out here.
I mean, look at this. So the Twins are in first place. They're one game over 500. I mean, it's just disgusting.
It's because when
but
you go,
the Guardians are not a good baseball team. It's
Can I
that
ask you a
simple.
question?
Now, I mean, Nuggets talked about Lindor, right? You said Lindor is having.
Well, can we save Lindor for 1 sec? I just got a question before we get to Lindor because it plays off what he just said. How is one division in baseball so bad? Like, how is it that at any point in any season, 5 teams in the same division are all just bad at once?
Well, it's not just that division. It's the National League Central, too. And the reason it's so noticeable.
But the National League has 2 teams at least 5 games over 500.
Yeah, but they're not. It's a bad division also. Not quite as bad as the American League Central, but
in general, and you could even keep the NL
Well, this
Central
is
in.
why it's more noticeable this year, is because they changed the schedule this year to a balanced schedule. So the Guardians and the Twins don't get to play the Royals and the Tigers 18 times. They only play them 12 times. That's a big difference. That's 12 games that they're playing a better opponent. You know, and so now that it's balanced, you're seeing the dominant. Now, in general, the East Coast and West Coast teams spend more and have higher payrolls than the teams in the Central divisions. But even the teams in the Central that have spent money over the years, like the White Sox, the Cubs, the Cardinals, and
Brewers, a little bit.
Well, the Brewers, not like those other teams. Well, the Cubs and Cardinals have spent, and the Tigers spent. But right now the Cubs are their payroll's okay, but they're not very good. They've been rebuilding. They suck. The Cardinals are having a bad season, and they don't have a lot of pitching. The Tigers are in the middle of like a 8-year rebuild, and the White Sox have spent, but they just have. I can't explain with that team. They have bad defense and bad chemistry, and it just hasn't worked out with all these young players they have. Now they're going to sell again and start over again. So. The Twins have committed to spending money. They've spent a lot of money here, but they're not that good either.
So I guess that's the thing. And let's be clear, that is a very sound business practice. And I think sometimes people don't look at it like this. I really believe that these teams, especially in Major League Baseball, they look at this as a business. They don't look at it as our main objective is to win. They'll put some stuff forward if all conditions are equal. If we got a season we didn't think we have, we'll put something behind. Yeah. If we get hot, we'll put a little something on the books. But
Dolan is not committed to winning.
He
is not committed to winning. He's not all in on winning. Every team wants to win. Every owner wants to win, but not at any price.
Like he's not. That's not what.
No, there's no reason that the Guardians shouldn't have $50 million more in their payroll, minimum.
It's
$50 million, and think about how much better they'd be if they had $50 million more in the payroll.
I looked, and I had to go back. Yesterday we was with Jason Lloyd. I had to go back and look, and I crushed them a couple of years ago. But you go back and look at how many home runs these guys hit. These guys are just these aren't like all-stars or anything. Guys were hit 20-something home runs. We talked about it before the season started. Before we started the show, they said people in the Mets is going crazy. Lindor is looking terrible.
Yeah.
Bull was like, he got 11 home runs. I said, oh my goodness. Like we would kill for 11 home runs.
Yeah, as bad a year as Lindor's having, he's not having a good year. He's still got more home runs than anybody on the Guardians.
That's crazy.
The standards are different. The New York standard versus standards in mid-major.
It's not just that. I mean, Lindor is, besides the home runs, having a bad year. But still, like, the Guardians lineup, in terms of power, is historically bad.
Yeah, that's bad. And this is 214. Lindor's never been a 300-plus hitter.
No, that's terrible. And an OPS of 703 is not good. That's below average.
But I look at his RBIs and home runs, I'm like, okay.
That ain't bad. Yeah, I was looking at that too. Like, that ain't bad.
Gee, just so you know, he is getting booed on a nightly basis in New York right now.
Yeah.
Despite 11 home runs, 42 RBIs, he is getting booed on a nightly basis.
But he's not doing enough. He's getting paid to be a superstar. Not,
Right.
And that's the thing. The more you get paid, the higher the expectations are. New York fans don't put up with that nonsense. You got to be great or it's unacceptable.
Do you think he's
We're
bothered?
too often okay with mediocrity in this town, and I hate that.
Is he bothered by that?
What's
You
that?
think he's bothered by the boo?
No, because he's got his paycheck. What does he care?
Somebody told me when it's the first and the 15th.
You never know. You know what,
That's
you
kinda
never,
hard.
Nobody likes getting booed.
I just say, people say that all the time, like he's getting paid
But
all
no,
this.
yeah,
It still
nobody wants to
bothers
get
you.
booed. I'm sure it bothers you, but
And you know, I hate to keep going back to this. I just got in the time machine the other day. I went back and was watching the old school Indians, right? And I was watching them back in I watched from '94, because people forget to strike. '94 was an exciting year. They were having a great year.
Yeah.
'94, '95, '96, '97, '98. I watched those games and I got goosebumps, bro. Just the level of excitement, like when the Guardians have got rid of those top seats up there in the nosebleeds. I mean, when you talk about those comebacks, and you talk about these guys, like I'm seeing multiple home runs where you come up. Jim Thome hit a home run, then Albert Bella hit a home run, then Manny Ramirez hit a home run, then Sandy Alomar hit. You're like, man, we don't got one of those guys, and I think it's tough because they fight against that era so much, because people and I'm just a casual guy, but there are people that cling on to that one moment in time like it's their last dream, and it's tough because the Cleveland Indians at one point in time were feared. You didn't want to you didn't want to play.
Their lineup was feared.
The lineup was just devastating. And they were fun to watch. And now it's almost been watered down to a point where it's almost like we clawing and trying to find something cool to talk about. We trying. Mm-hmm. Do we got they were like, hey, do we have an ace?
1997, Thome hit 40. David Justice 33. Matt Williams hit 32 home runs that year.
Sheesh.
Manny hit 26.
Come on, man.
Sandy Alomar hit 21.
Stop, boy.
Then Brian Giles with 17. Marquise Grissom hit 12. Tony Fernandez hit 11. The only starter that didn't have double digits was Omar Vizquel, who was a great fielder and a great base runner and a really good hitter. Yeah, I mean,
and that was a nondescript team. That wasn't the best of the best during that time period. And look how many home runs they had.
Well, they did go to the World Series in '97.
Jesus, man.
In the '95 team, 95, Albert Bell hit 50. Manny 31, Thome 25, Eddie Murray hit 21.
Man.
Carlos Beltran had 15. And their guys with no power were Vizquel, Kenny Lofton, and Tony Pena, who were all elite defenders.
Gold gloves.
Sandy Alomar hit 10, so they combined for 15 home runs for the catching position. Kenny Lofton was a great hitter. Vizquel was a really good hitter.
30-plus bases stolen.
Lofton stole 54 bases, and Vizquel stole 29. Yeah, listen, I mean, it's most teams compared to those teams are not very good. But this Guardians team they were bad power-wise last year. They got on base at a tremendous rate. This year, they're not getting on base. Their powers, I thought, would be better. I was wrong. I thought Josh Bell was going to have a good year. I was wrong. He's been a little better lately, but he's overall been bad.
What's the leading home run hitter on?
I think Naylor.
Has,
what, 8?
Yeah, we ain't even cracked up with this. That 11 look good.
Yeah,
11 looking solid.
We'd be up 3 more games.
He's got 8. So is he even on pace for 20?
God.
He's on pace for 21.
21?
21.
So your leading home run hitter is on pace for 21. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that Naylor's going to hit 20 home runs.
By the way, 54 players currently have 9 or more home runs.
54?
54 players.
So Naylor's tied for 55th place in home runs.
This is sad.
And I bet you could find guys right now with 8, 9 home runs who have only played like 30 games.
Paul DeJong of St. Louis is 34 games.
Who?
Yeah.
Francisco Alvarez of the Mets, 39.
He's a great player. They should be playing him every day.
Will Smith, 42.
Another catcher.
Get jiggy with it.
Will Smith's everyday player. He was
And
on the injured list.
Evan Longoria, 32 games, 8 home runs.
He has 8 home runs, Longoria?
32 games, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no excuse. This is
Our
embarrassing.
leading bowler.
This is embarrassing how many guys you have with under 5 home runs.
And the Rays got a guy with like 20, right?
Pete Alonso leads the league with 22 currently.
And how many do the Guardians have as a roster?
Give me 1 sec.
That's a shame.
Alonso's got 22, so he's on pace for close to 50.
We doing bad.
I don't.
The Guardians probably have less than 40 home runs as a team.
The Guardians have 35, 13 less than any other team in Major League Baseball.
God, 35 home runs.
As a team.
We're 3 weeks away from that. They're on pace for under 100 home runs this year, I think.
They have 35 and 60, so they'd have 70 and 120. Yeah. That's
they're on
absurd.
pace for like 90-something home runs.
That's
I mean,
absurd.
that is just mind-blowing.
Hey, you know what? That's the greatest trick. I love it. The greatest trick in the world, and I've never. It's the second greatest trick. The first greatest trick is get people to vote against their own best wishes. You just voted.
Speaking of which, there's a special election in the state of Ohio in August where our state legislator is trying to take away your power as a citizen. So make sure you learn about this special election. Right now, average citizens can vote to change laws with a majority of 51%. They're trying to change it to 60%. They're trying to take away your power in the state legislature. Make sure you don't let them do that.
The second biggest trick of all time is ownership tricking fans into
worrying about
saving them money.
Yeah, right.
Like
it's amazing.
The payroll conversation in every sport it blows my mind.
It's amazing, and I look at it a different way. I used to get mad at the Guardians for not signing all their players long term, and as years have gone by, I realized that most of the long term extensions, especially players over 30,
is a bad investment.
It's a bad investment. Now Ramirez is under 30, so is Jimenez. You're getting the primes of their careers, but the Guardians need to spend on younger players, and they need to aggressively spend on short-term contracts more than they have. You cannot have these holes in the lineup. It's a major issue, and they deserve heavy criticism for it. The team stinks right now. Go ahead.
All right, we got 2 more things we got to talk about today before we wrap up. It's been a great hour and 40 minutes, by the way. This has flown by from back here. 2 things. First, we touched on Lindor a little bit. 11 home runs. He's batting .211. He's being booed in New York. I'm curious from your guys' standpoint. A player who leaves Cleveland for one reason or other, I know there's not a one-answer-fits-all for every situation, but we'll use Lindor for the example at hand here. He leaves Cleveland. They weren't going to give him the $300 million contract. He gets the bag and then some in New York. Do you guys still root for athletes who leave your city, go to another place for whatever reason, or do you get a little bit of enjoyment out of knowing, hey, the Guardians, the Indians let Lindor go, and now he's struggling?
I to be honest with you, I'm both, but the only athlete of recency that I can remember that I actually root for that left Cleveland was Kyrie Irving. That's about it. Outside of that, I can't really think of somebody.
Kyrie Irving's a scumbag.
Kyrie Irving is an amazing basketball player. He has a lot of off-the-court issues.
And all he does is get in his own way.
Listen, he got a lot of off-the-court issues, but the term poetry in motion is, if you looked it up, is his picture.
And if he would get out of his own way, he would have been great. And now he's.
This is a good topic.
Thank you.
It was both. See, back in the, I don't think we was here yet. So there was you go back and listen to it. There was a Cold War in the Browns community. The Cold War at the time was between the Baker Bros and the OBJ apologists, right?
That was.
So it was a cold, like it was. You had to choose a side.
Wait, what was the OBJ?
OBJ apologist and the Baker Bros. So I was an OBJ apologist, right?
Yeah.
And
I was an OBJ apologist.
I was in the rare category of not being in either group.
Listen,
I think they both are crap.
we told Bull, I said, you got to pick. Hey, it's the war in Chicago. You
If I had to choose, I would have been in the OJ apologist group.
OJ.
The OJ apologist group. Not in the OJ apologist group. I don't apologize for alleged murderers. But I was not on
you said
either
today
group because
now
I thought
negated.
Odell sucked here and Baker sucked here.
So there was this huge thing. So when you get this war, that's classic. That's gonna win an award next year.
I love it.
That's an Emmy nomination.
Okay.
By the way, can we get him on the show? No, we're just playing. No. So basically, there was a Cold War. So people, in chat. So whose side was you on? Hey, let's be honest right now. We could be honest.
You know who they was on.
Like there are some people that was rocking with Baker, and there's some people in the industry that was rocking with him in Carolina. They was like, oh no,
You know what? That's what I knew that this was bad.
I told you.
It was people that was Cleveland Browns fans that rooted against the Browns
and we went to the game.
For Carolina. I couldn't believe it.
I know.
was like, wow.
Panther, we know who we talking about.
Yeah.
We know who you are. By the way, so what I did do, I ain't gonna lie. When Odell Beckham Jr. started getting the football, I was mad. I was beside myself. I said, listen, we done gave this dude away for free. He over here catching the football, and we still got. And then
touchdown
and then when Baker at the last part of the season says, after you done sabotaged and got us looking crazy, I gotta do what's best for me and my family. I was like, you know what, you son of, you know what.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. After a while, I even got tired of it. I had to say after a while, listen, I root for the Cleveland Browns. Odell Beckham Jr., I thought you could have helped us. You didn't. You helped the Rams. You got the ring. Cool. But I'm not rooting for you against you play for the Ravens. You ain't heard me speak his name.
Yeah.
Get this smoke. I root for the Browns. I only root for the Browns, and that's what it is. But, yeah.
I'm a mixed bag as well. Obviously, I'm rooting against Baker. I want him to fail. I want him to lose every game he plays. I want him to put up the worst possible statistics. If people have a problem with that, I really don't care. Now, in terms of from a baseball perspective, I would say I'm neutral on Lindor. I don't root for him or against him.
Yeah, I don't really
if he was on my fantasy team, so I rooted for him, and then I traded him, and I didn't care anymore. In terms of my favorite Cubs players from when they won the World Series, I love Rizzo, and I want him to do well, but he's on the Yankees, and I hate the Yankees. So I'm kind of torn on him.
Did you root for LeBron?
Not in Miami.
Not in Miami.
What about the Lakers?
I don't really.
A little bit with the Lakers.
I rooted against him in Miami. With the Lakers, I'm kind of neutral.
Well, I think he was trying to be. Yeah. He was a villain then.
Yeah,
he embraced this villain.
I've rooted against Kyrie every year.
Every year. And Kyrie was my favorite player when he was here. I liked him more than LeBron.
Because it just.
He came off as so anti-Cleveland.
I didn't understand.
Kyrie got him a ring, and y'all still agree. That's what he said.
But I don't understand.
Could have had more rings if he wouldn't have effed around.
Tyvis, I don't get it, man. It was you got to think about it. That's like somebody being like.
Wait, what is it about Kyrie that I understand?
Because he shit on Cleveland on the way out the door. That's a part of it.
Outside of it,
everybody did.
Outside of it, he'd be a fascinating interview just to get I don't want to talk about the hoop stuff. I want to talk about other stuff.
Oh, I would love to.
I want to talk, but for me, what got me with Kyrie was I just felt like, bro, I don't know what advice you're getting. You can't see the forest for the trees, bro. You don't understand, You talk about you got this disposition that everybody was loving LeBron, but there were so many people that love Kyrie here.
Right.
More some people more than LeBron.
I didn't even,
but he didn't want to share the spotlight.
I own one Calf jersey. Guess who it is?
Kyrie.
His shoes was fire.
But he's not the lead dog.
But it was we didn't. But a lot of people didn't. That's what I'm saying. But a lot of people here didn't care.
Yeah, right. We loved them.
To be honest with you, if they would have went split, I would have went Team Kyrie because I just liked him.
And so you hit the
nice, man. For me, Kyrie cold on the court.
For me, he hit the biggest shot in the history of the Cavs. And he almost diminished it himself.
Right, by saying he wanted to be out after that.
Why would you do we rock with you.
That's right.
You scored 40 points with LeBron. You got the most shots.
And every other fan base hates him. He's made every team worse since then. Every team has gotten worse with him.
And we showed him the most love here.
Yes.
What I would say
out of any base.
I don't as far as basketball player, I still think for him not being top 75, that's blasphemy. You think Kyrie Irving is not a top 75
When did the latest list come out?
Last year.
It was last year before the season.
Yeah.
Was there somebody on there that he's better than? I mean, he's
I
done
don't
a lot of
remember the
losing
list off the
time.
I
top of my
can't think
head.
of the list off the top of my
He
head.
ain't won many games without LeBron.
That doesn't
There
matter.
was a couple snubs.
Listen, look, Kyrie Irving is literally, it's nothing he can't do in the game.
But
of
then why
basketball.
hasn't he won more? Because he's a selfish player and he
Well, I don't
ruins
think
every team he's on.
I don't think he is a.
He's a selfish player.
I don't think he doesn't make everybody better. if
No,
that
he
makes
doesn't.
sense. Like he
Kyrie
doesn't-
Irving should be averaging double
Kyrie
digit
Irving
assists.
is probably the best one-on-one player.
But he was the leader.
No, I won't say that. That's a lie.
But he
Probably Jordan
was the leader of the Nets. Like KD deferred to him.
And they were a disaster.
He told KD to come with me. Then they got Harden, and then it was like they was looking at him like, "But you're not gonna get no vac. What are you talking about? You ain't getting vaccinated?"
Well, he was just standing up for what he believed in.
But as a
With
teammate,
no
right?
facts to back it up.
Watch this. As a
He
teammate,
stood up for what he believed. You can't be mad at somebody for standing up what he believed
What do
in.
you believe in?
They told him at the beginning of the season he didn't have to
so
get
if I
the
just
shot.
decide to believe that I can live on Jupiter, I should stand up for that?
No, but
what's the difference?
He said they told him that they didn't. He wasn't gonna have. It wasn't gonna be a requirement for him to get the shot to play in the NBA. And he said, "All right, cool. I'm not getting it." And then they come back and say, "Now you need to get the shot to play."
did he-
Like
so
that's
fucking do it.
No, that's going against what you told him.
did he eventually get it?
I don't think so.
No.
He never got it.
think he
Here's
got
the thing. I'm not saying, and the vaccine thing is beside the point. I think the point is, there's a lot of times, I remember him having surgery in Boston, right, with Tatum. It was Tatum, Brown. I think they had, who else is scary? Terry Rozier. And the Cavs was playing them in 2018. Kyrie Irving, it was Game 7. He had surgery on Game 7, right? And LeBron didn't have nobody. They had some bums. They had Rodney Hood and Clarkson and Nance, and it was a bunch of bums.
It was.
And
I wouldn't say it was bums. Maybe 2008 when they lost to the Spurs.
Yes, but no disrespect. I met Jordan Clarkson a few times, and not bums. But here, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But-
you say that.
Yeah.
You say bum and trash.
Yeah, that's
You gonna get a direct message.
Direct message. Like
So,
y'all get your money off.
Y'all were good role players.
Yeah.
Y'all wasn't stars.
You're like, so basically, I'm watching on the bench, and I said, oh, LeBron lulling these dudes to sleep. I could see the pattern, what they was doing. He was controlling all the different things. He was controlling the clock, all the movement, everything. I said, they're going to get beat in the fourth quarter. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, nobody knows LeBron like Kyrie do. He could have been telling him, I'm going to have surgery next week.
Right.
I need to be on this
Kyrie's
bench.
all
Telling Jason
But
Tatum,
T,
watch for this. Watch the
Kyrie
screen.
is all
back this.
about Kyrie.
Yeah,
he only cares about Kyrie. He doesn't care about the Celtics. Better without him. The Nets played better without him. He goes to Dallas. They don't even make the playoffs.
You can't necessarily say the Nets.
The Nets played well down the stretch with nobody.
That's what I'm saying.
With
But
a
they
bunch of
got
guys.
rid of everybody. So
I mean, I like Kyrie. I like his game. I do believe that, like Jason Lloyd said, I think that's the best chance to go back and play. But for me, there's a lot of times people don't be understanding. A lot of what you do in life is perception, right? If he would have just cut like some of the little stuff out, there's no doubt he is top 75 player. Just like I think Dwight Howard's a top 75 player.
Who's on the back end of that top 75, Mike?
They don't rank them 1 through 75, which is the issue. They
All
just
right.
give
So
you the names.
Are there guys that you think are clearly worse than Kyrie?
I mean, like, I don't know the guy. I didn't watch Paul Arizen play in the 60s. Like,
I mean, who knows?
I don't know. So
is Dame Lillard better than Kyrie?
yeah, Dame's better than Kyrie.
It's debatable.
Very debatable.
Part of being great.
Very.
Part of
You
being
said
great.
that like that.
Tyvis,
Like, that's kind of
Tyvis,
debatable.
part of being great is playing. And how many games has this guy missed over the years?
Dame just quit on this team.
No, he didn't.
He did just sit out the last month of the season, didn't he?
They sat him down the last 6 games of the year so they could tank for Wemby. It's not like he quit.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought he.
And by the way, he keeps signing contracts with nobody around him. I'll give you that. But Kyrie does have a championship. Dame Lillard probably won't sniff one. I got to put him ahead.
Yeah, but Kyrie wouldn't have a championship without LeBron.
Well,
No, we can't do that though.
If Dame want a ring,
He has a ring. At the end of the day,
Come-
Kyrie has
yeah,
a
but
ring.
it's not an apples-to-apples
come to
comparison.
Milwaukee with Giannis.
I would take Lillard. I'm on your side here, but you
Kyrie-
can't say Kyrie only has a ring for LeBron when
can't
he
say
hit the
that.
shot in Game 7.
He hit the biggest shot
I
in the game.
understand that, but the point is, it's not like it's a fair comparison.
The game,
How is that
the
not
game,
a fair
the game.
comparison?
Because Dame Lillard never played with LeBron. Never played with a better. Damian Lillard never played with a player better than him.
He should fix that by going to Milwaukee.
Hey, he showed some loyalty.
Milwaukee.
Kyrie.
He said he even wants to play with
Kyrie is the biggest disappointment in the history of the NBA.
Wow.
That's
Anthony Bennett.
Tyvis.
He's got a losing record.
I think that's Anthony Bennett.
No, Anthony Bennett's a scrub. Kyrie's a great talent. He is a top 75 talent, and he never wins one without LeBron because he was all about his ego, and he couldn't stand being the number 2 guy.
Tyvis, you asked the top 75, Kyrie. Russell Westbrook's on there. Westbrook or Kyrie? In the grand scheme of careers.
I don't know.
Well, Westbrook did stuff that no point guard would ever probably do again.
I think Westbrook
with the triple-double. I
mean,
he averaged a triple-double for 2 years in a row. People sleep on what Westbrook used to do. Like, no, Westbrook.
Hey, listen, man.
Chris Paul back in the day was one of the best
Chris
point
Paul
guards to ever do it.
2015, 2016, right?
I'm just naming, for the record, I'm just naming guys now who are in that conversation.
So for 2015, 2016, this is his stats.
Who?
Kyrie's. I mean, he had 26, 30.
This segment with the just Kyrie.
34.
All the athletes that left
you got hold on. Like, you got to think about it. Like, I'll give him credit where credit is due. The dude put work in. He had 34, 41, 23, 26, 20. Like, he got 40s in there. Like, and he hit the biggest shot in Game 7 on the road with Steph Curry in his mouth. Pause. Let's get it.
Whoa.
Bunk.
Whoa.
Listen, Kyrie was a huge part of the championship, obviously. Great player, but it's a disappointment that he didn't stay, and he's not been, and his teams have not benefited from him since then.
I've rooted against Kyrie.
Last two, Tyvis. Last two, and then we'll do some final takes. We'll save the recruiting segment for the next time Tyvis is on, because I think we'll have fun with that. Ray Allen or Kyrie Irving, better career?
Oh, come on now.
Ray Allen.
Career, Allen. He's like the second
I'm just asking the question. We're just looking at names on here that you could argue. Or you could, in theory, have the debate. Carmelo.
Kyrie Irving.
I would take Kyrie over Carmelo.
Because Carmelo's on the top 75.
Whoa. Carmelo is a top 10 scorer, ain't he?
Kyrie.
Like points-wise? Yeah, I think he's 9th all time. I'll double-check that.
Come on now.
He's 9th.
That's amazing. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, top 10 scorer. He gets buckets.
I never saw Carmelo in college was amazing. One of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
And he got like 3 gold medals or something.
I just hate that he never passed the ball. He was such a selfish player.
I hate that he didn't get a ring, man.
Carmelo is a prisoner of the way that people judge basketball players. Like, if you're not, they discard them. If you're not the top of the tip, if you're not Kobe or LeBron or Jordan, they really don't care about what you're talking about. They just like they don't show you love like that, bro. KD gonna figure it out. Like, because when KD finished, Harden's done, they're gonna look at him like, oh, okay, y'all just them dudes that shot a lot.
That's a shame.
It's a shame, right?
Well, I think Durant is a better player than Carmelo.
Yes, he is, but he's not. But he's not gonna get no love. Like, they're gonna use it.
At least he got the ring.
But a lot of that was just the way he jumped on that Warriors bandwagon.
Yeah,
and he's been such a baby off the
Carmelo's
court.
9th all time in scoring.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Amazing.
I gotta put Carmelo ahead of Kyrie.
Where is Kyrie on the all-time scoring list?
No, stop.
Stand by. I got you.
Stop.
That's funny. You like 57?
Might be
Even that high?
62.
I'm
On
curious.
the all-time list, I'm scrolling through. You mean regular season, right?
Well,
Not playoffs.
Yeah.
Career, right?
I mean, is he even in the top 100?
Career.
I need 2 hands here. Hold on.
I guess I'm crazy. You can't put Carmelo. You got to put Carmelo ahead of Kyrie. I don't know what drugs I was smoking
57.
when I said that.
I'm telling you.
I don't even know if he's in the top 100.
He's got 15,000 points. Yeah, I mean he's between 50 and 75.
Oh, okay. No, you're right.
He would
You're in the right.
No, I lied.
Oh, you lied.
Bob Cousy's number 100 was 16,960 career points. Kyrie Irving has 1,510.
So mean,
Kyrie.
Can you be one of the 75 best players of all time?
Okay, you ready for a trivia question?
Yeah.
Well, this is gonna give it away because I already asked and I was wrong. Kyrie Irving's 125th all time. Does he have more career points than Kyle Lowry? Yes or no?
No.
Whoa, Kyrie?
Kyle Lowry is 124th all time in scoring. Kyrie Irving's 125th.
So how could he be a top 75 player of all time when 125th in scoring, and that's his best thing.
There's more to the game than just scoring.
Yeah, but that's the best thing he does is score.
Yeah, you know why he's
He's not a good passer.
You know why he's that
He's
low?
not a good defender.
Do you know why
he's not a good rebounder?
Do you know why he that low in scoring?
Because he's missed a ton of games.
Bam.
But that factors in, Tyvis.
It does factor in.
It does
too.
factor in.
And the bottom line is, the best thing about Kyrie's game is his scoring, is it not?
Yeah.
Is he exceptional at any other part of the game?
Not really.
Exception.
But he is an elite scorer.
He's an elite one-on-one scorer.
If your best attribute as a player is scoring, and you're 125th in scoring, you can't be a top 75 player of all time.
I wonder what his career high in assists
Sucks at
is.
defense. Not good at rebounding or anything. Not a good passer.
I don't know if he sucks at defense.
He's terrible. Mike, is he a terrible defender? Is that fair?
When he tries, he's actually not bad. He just very rarely tries.
Very rarely.
I mean, that's
Also, his career.
Isn't that even more of an indictment?
Mikey, is that not like 70% of the NBA?
Yeah, it's most of the NBA.
It's end the conversation. Kyrie's not top 75. You can't be top 75 if you're not top 75 in scoring and you're not particularly good at anything else.
That's a very.
I mean, he's got a great handle, but he can't pass, he can't rebound, can't defend. What's that?
That's a good rebuttal, man. I like it.
All right, we're out of time. What do we got on overtime, Mike?
Madden just announced its cover athlete for 2024. It is Josh Allen. And my question is, should it have been Jim Brown?
We'll see. Coming up next in overtime.